All rise.
Now, this is case number 103 on the calendar in the matter of Walker versus Weir. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Walker, are you concerned about your appearance here today?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
You had the look of a man who had a little bit of a guilty look on his face, sir, when I walked out here. Because the problem that was created here, Mr. Walker, was a problem that was created really because of you. From what I gather, you had a rental property and you rented that property to the defendant. You rented that property to the defendant without your wife knowing about it initially. Is that right?
That's correct.
And this was not a stranger to you or to your wife. I mean, you knew who she was because your wife clearly wasn't happy that you rented an apartment to her. So far, is that correct, Miss Walker?
Yes.
Now, what was it about Miss Weir that you didn't like?
My previous dealings with her, she just wasn't somebody I wanted to live in my house.
What kind of rental property is this?
It's a studio apartment.
Do you live in the same building?
No, I live next door.
How long have you known her?
I met her, I believe, 4 years ago.
How does your husband know her?
Through acquaintances, I believe.
How did you rent the apartment to Miss Weir, sir?
She was referred to me by a friend.
You contacted Mr. Walker
Yes.
and said you needed an apartment?
Yes.
And he said?
He had a studio apartment for rent. The people had not quite moved out yet, but he went ahead and showed it to me anyway.
Did you know that your wife was not crazy about Miss Weir?
Not at the time, I didn't know.
What happened, sir, when you told your wife about the new tenant?
She said that she did not want her living there and requested that we ask her to move.
You moved in when?
About the 19th of December.
And when did you find out that she moved in?
While she was moving in.
While?
Yes, I seen her go in.
Well, when you saw her moving in, you said, what are you doing here?
No.
And what happened?
I went to him.
Ah. And what did you say to him?
I told him I did not want her to live in my house.
So you told him to get her out.
Exactly.
And what did he say to you?
No.
Did he say why?
Because she had a good job and he trusted the lady that referred her to him.
How long have you two been married?
For 6 years.
So your wife said get her out and you said no, she's got a good job, not getting her out.
Figured I'd give her a chance, yes.
Well, you did. She wasn't happy. So what did you do?
I let it be.
Now, your complaint is that she moved out owing you rent, she caused damage to the apartment, and she harassed you. Ms. Weir says that you were the one who harassed her. She wants her security deposit back, and she wants her moving expenses back because it was because of your harassment that she was forced to move. That's your counterclaim.
Yes, that's correct.
When did you move?
I actually moved on February the 7th.
Did you pay December's rent?
No.
Yes.
Yes, I paid December's rent.
Shh. Pay attention.
Okay. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Paid December's rent.
Yes.
Did you pay January's rent?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Tell me why.
After Miss Walker had come to my home and threatened me in front of my daughter, I spoke with Lewis over the phone. He said he would take care of Lacey. He would make sure that would not happen no more. I received a lease a month after I rented the apartment, and everything was exactly different than what he had agreed to verbally with me.
So you moved in without a written lease having been signed?
Right.
Why is that, sir?
We hadn't gotten to it. I was at my shop and I was working. She'd come and given me money, and I told her that I would get the lease written out and get it to her.
Not the way to do business, Mr. Walker. She needs a lease. Till you have a lease, you have no agreement. She's a month-to-month tenant. She doesn't have to give you any notice. Now, how much money did she give you in December, sir?
$675. $475 for the rent, $200 for the deposit.
Your Honor.
Shh.
I'm sorry.
That was December, when she was moving in.
Yes.
Yes.
The deposit was actually $400, and he agreed to let me work the other $200 off because a previous tenant had left the apartment with furniture.
Just a minute. You gave him $475 for rent.
Right.
$200 in cash.
Right.
And the other $200 you say that he allowed you to work off.
Right.
Is that right?
That's correct.
And you moved out February 7th.
Yes. However, I wasn't able to stay there due to them turning off the electricity and the water for 2 weeks before that.
When did they turn off the electricity and water?
Lacey had the water disconnected on the 31st
Of what?
January, and the electricity as well.
But you had not paid any rent whatsoever for January.
No.
So you lived there for 4 weeks, rent-free. You have no right to cut off water and electricity. You understand that?
Yes, I do. I just figured since she didn't pay rent, is in my name, I shut it off. Because it's in
Well,
my
you can't
name.
do that. You know you can't do that. You were told you couldn't do that, right?
No, we were not told. We were not told we couldn't do that.
I'm telling you, you can't do that. She certainly doesn't owe you any money for the 7 days in February that she may have stayed there or had her stuff there because the place was uninhabitable owing to what you did. Did you give her back her deposit?
No, that is for the cleaning that comes afterwards.
No, it's not. That's for damage to the apartment, not for cleaning.
Okay.
You have pictures of the damage to the apartment?
No.
Good. So, from the $475 a month rent that you didn't pay for January, I am deducting her $400 deposit. Anything else you want to tell me? So far, she owes you $75.
Well, since she lived in my house using my utilities under my name, is she responsible for that bill she racked up on me?
No.
She's not.
No. She's going to tell me that the $475 included utilities. You didn't want her there.
I didn't.
And she's not there. Next time you rent to a lady, I would check with my wife, Mr. Walker. Now, you have a counterclaim for your moving expenses and harassment. Your harassment is that she turned off the electricity and she turned off the water. Now, I've already told her she's not permitted by law to do that, okay?
Okay.
I do have a certain amount of sympathy since you had not paid rent for the entire month. So I want you to forget that as a cause of action for harassment. What else?
I have police reports where she's threatened me in front of my daughter. She came to out on her porch and threatened me
When? Give me the date.
on the 29th,
Of?
January.
Hadn't paid rent a whole month at that point.
But I feel like I had to move because of them.
Who's this friend that we're talking about here?
She's not my friend any longer, my ex-friend. I believe that this friend and Mr. Lewis had a relationship going on.
And that's why
I believe that's what
Mrs.
started
Walker was
all this.
angry?
Yes, I believe that's what started all of this.
That is not true.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
You're supposed to come prepared. Out! Go! What do they think they're supposed to do when they come to court to prepare? Pick out clothes?
For some, that's the extent of it.
A piece of paper would be nice.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lacey and Lewis Walker claim former tenant Carrie Weir owes for rent, repair bills, and harassment. Carrie is countersuing for the return of her deposit, moving expenses, and harassment.
Okay, well, you told the police, Miss Walker, that you didn't like her, you didn't want her there, you wanted her to move out, she had been telling lies about your husband and threatening you, you wanted her out.
Exactly.
Okay, so now you're out, right?
Yes, I am
You
out.
moved someplace else, are you happy?
I'm happy. I'm out a lot of money, but I'm happy.
Why are you out of a lot of money?
I had to put another first month's rent, a
Well,
deposit.
you have to pay rent anyway. So far, you don't have to pay any more rent here. You owe only $75.
But I was there for a month. That put a lot of extra strain on me.
Happens.
You're right, it
It
does.
was not a good mix.
No, not at all.
Not a good three-way mix. Maybe four.
At this time, I didn't even know who Lacey was.
Well, when you found out, that was a big problem. And I certainly think that she acted inappropriately. I have no idea whether or not you caused any damage to the apartment. I somehow doubt it. Mr. Walker, very good lesson for you. When somebody moves in, before they move in, they sign a lease. You don't take any money from them until the lease is signed. You don't get busy doing something else and then present a lease with terms somewhat different from the ones you had discussed orally. All that is not a good thing. Do you understand?
Yeah, she knew.
Don't tell me what she knew. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $75. That's
Can I-
what you're entitled to. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, you can't help some people. That's what I feel about this incident.
She's a squatter. She's a mooch.
Mr. Walker here likes to have affairs on his wife.
She does everything in her way to break up a happy home.
Carrie's not never seen me with anybody in any kind of sexual content.
I just think they're vindictive people.
She just was a very hateful lady.
Don't trust your friends.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harvey versus Jensen. Come on.
22-year-old Sean Harvey is suing his uncle, Paul Jensen, for non-payment of services rendered. Sean claims Paul owes him for 3 weeks of work.
Mr. Harvey, this is your uncle through marriage.
Correct.
He is the husband of your aunt, and it is your claim that you went to work for him in a construction job. You have a girlfriend. I assume this is your girlfriend, and you also have a young baby.
Correct.
And that he paid you by check $2,000 for work that you did and then stopped payment on the check. You want your $2,000.
Right.
That's your case. Mr. Jensen says you didn't do $2,000 worth of work, that the $2,000 check he gave you was a loan to sort of get you on your feet, and you became disrespectful, so he put a stop payment on the check.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Jensen, when did you first and under what circumstances give Mr. Harvey a job?
It was during a family discussion. We were at my wife's mother's house, I believe, Your Honor. And it was
When?
the end of April, first part of May.
And what was the discussion?
The fact that Sean needed a job and that I was willing to employ him.
Was he there?
Yes.
Did you discuss salary?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And what was the salary?
$20 per hour.
And how many days a week and how many hours a day was he supposed to work?
It was a 5-day, for 8 hours per day.
Okay. When did you first show up for work, Mr. Harvey?
Do you want me to answer that exact question, or I just... He had come
That
up...
exact question. That's what I'm here for. Listen.
The first day for work, he told me I was on the books at $20 an hour, whether I was working or not. We had a lot of rain.
Would you answer my question?
The first day of work was the Monday after Easter. That was my first day that I was on the books for.
I don't care what you say you were on the books for. I said, what was your first day of work? Now, you knew you were coming to court. You're the plaintiff. It is your claim that this $2,000 was for work you performed, correct?
Correct.
Then you have to come with some information, Mr. Harvey. A tie doesn't do it. You have to come in and say, I started working on May 5th, on May 7th. I worked for so many weeks, $20 an hour, 8 hours a day, 3 weeks. This was my pay. Do you understand? Now, do you need time and a calendar to figure out when you started to work?
I did ask for a calendar previous to come.
Well, then go get it, because I am losing my patience with you fast. You're supposed to come prepared. Out. Go! What do they think they're supposed to do when they come to court to prepare? Pick out clothes?
For some, that's the extent of it.
A piece of paper would be nice. All right, Mr. Harvey, let's go.
Okay.
On what day did you begin working?
April, on Tuesday, the 18th of 2006.
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
Well, when did he start?
He came to the job site on Friday, May 19th.
I have a check that he wrote me on May 13th, so I don't know why he would say that I came on the 19th.
May 13th, in what amount?
For $2,000, because I had been working previous. He says that my first day was...
No. Because that's his defense, sir. He says that this $2,000 was a loan to you so that you, your girlfriend, and your baby could get on your feet. Now, what I want to know from you, Mr. Harvey, is when, for the first time, did you show up?
Tuesday. I had a problem with my car on Monday, and I wasn't able to show up. I did show up the next day.
He says it was a month later, after Easter. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, and I remember it very well because my wife and I were married on May 4th. Her nephew did not start physically working for us until after we were married.
Stand up. This is your nephew?
Yes.
Are you involved at all in the business?
I work sometimes with my husband.
Do you know whether or not your nephew was working for him prior to your getting married?
No, we didn't start work until after we were married.
How many days in total, Mr. Harvey, did you work for Mr. Jensen?
Real days that I was actually there?
Yeah.
6.
Well, if you worked 6 days and you got paid for those 6 days, it would have been $960. Where do you get $2,000 from?
From when him telling me that no matter if I worked those days or not, rain or shine, because we had a lot of rain in May, he told me I was getting paid on those days. He came up to my Nana's house on Easter and told my Nana, my grandfather, I would have flown my Nana out here as a witness, but she has epilepsy. She wouldn't come on the plane. So that's where I figured in, and I kept asking him.
You didn't finish your sentence, sir. That you were at Easter, you were with your Nana, and he said what?
He said he's going to pay me $20 an hour starting on the following Monday, but I couldn't show up that Monday, so I came Tuesday. So I worked for about a month, and I was asking, where's my check?
You worked 6 days.
But like sporadically. There was days I couldn't work.
You don't get paid when you don't work, sir? How old are you?
22. This is what I was told. He told my family.
Listen to me. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You mean if you decide not to show up, what are you, part of the mafia?
No.
You get one of those jobs where you don't show up for work?
It's what he
you don't
said.
You don't show up for work, you get paid anyway?
No.
You got to get a life, sir. You made a baby. You got to get a life.
She was pregnant at the time. I was looking for an
Well,
apartment.
that's not a life. There are other sports.
I was looking...
You're not supposed to get somebody pregnant when you don't have a way to support a child. But you don't say to this man, listen, you're going to give me $20 an hour, 8 hours a day, whether I show up or not, whether I work or not, because I need the money.
I didn't say that. You're right. He told me.
Well...
And he told my whole family this, not just me.
Listen to me. When you're 22 years old, you're supposed to work. You're supposed to work.
That's all I wanted to do.
Then get a job where you work. Don't show up 6 days a month and expect to get paid, sir.
Your Honor, may I add something?
Go ahead.
The very first day he could not show up because his car was not operable. That was understandable to me. What wasn't understandable to me, which was one of the reasons that I did not want to even entertain the idea of employing him any longer, was that he was at my parents' house where we met to go to work to the next job. My wife went in, spoke to Sean about him bringing her back to Salisbury. He came out and spoke to me. He was upset about it.
What was he upset about?
That his aunt wanted him to take her back to Salisbury instead of him going to work.
Was he going to get paid for doing that?
Well, if I could continue with the story. During that time, it was agreed upon that he would take her back, which he did. Later, my wife called my cell phone at the job site saying that she was going to come to the job site and work with me for the rest of the day. Her nephew, Sean, drove her to the job site. My wife got out of his vehicle. As I approached the vehicle to talk to Sean, Sean did a U-turn in the street and drove off without talking to me. If he had showed up at the job site like he did and gotten out and at least talked to me, I would have expected him to finish the rest of the day working. Yes, he would have got paid for that day because that was my
well,
circumstance.
Well, that's conjecture, sir, and that's something you can't expect him to read your mind.
Right.
Go ahead.
But I wasn't even able to discuss this with him because
he acted like a baby.
As soon as my wife exited the car, he did a U-turn and left.
Okay. Who has the check?
I do.
Can I see it?
Sure. There you go.
So this is a business check?
Yes.
Why would you make him a personal loan on your business, sir?
Because that is the only account I had at the time.
Oh.
It was a DBA account in Massachusetts, Paul Jensen, DBA, PJ Construction.
PJ Custom Construction.
Right.
That's a business check. On what day, Mr. Jensen, did you cancel the check?
It was, again, approximately towards the end of May, Your Honor.
How much after the incident with your wife did you cancel the check?
I would expect it was during the first week after that.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes, Your Honor.
I agree with you, sir, that this money was given to you on May the 13th. He did not cancel the check until after there was an incident with his wife. He didn't like your attitude, so he decided to cancel the check when, according to his answer, he discovered that you hadn't cashed it yet.
Sorry.
You have to understand something, sir. You're a baby. You're 22 years old. If you go to court and it sounds to you, because you've got your listening ears on, that you're winning, you're just supposed to stand there very quietly.
Okay.
Before you put your... Notice what you want to do. Go ahead. Okay. Go. You want to say something?
No, I want you to finish.
Now you're getting smart. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step back. Now, it's case number 85 on the calendar in the matter of Carbajal versus Jimenez. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Ms. Carbajal, it is your claim that the defendant's son, I assume this young man here, was playing soccer where you live.
Yes.
An area that you say where they're not supposed to play ball.
Correct.
And his ball damaged your car.
Correct.
You want his mother to pay for the damages.
Yes.
His mother says that he did not damage your car. And his mother is counterclaiming because she said you've been harassing her family and you videotaped the children, I assume after this incident involving your car. How long have you been neighbors?
I've lived in the property for about 5 years.
And how long have you lived there?
6.5 years.
Is there a common area?
The courtyard.
Is that where you were playing soccer, in the courtyard?
Yes.
Are you allowed to play ball in the courtyard?
No.
So why were you playing there?
Because they wouldn't let me go to the plaza.
Who wouldn't let you go to the plaza?
My babysitter.
So?
So I asked her if I can go to my house and play right there.
How many people were you playing with?
Just me and Omar.
Omar, do you also live in the same place?
Yes.
You know you're not supposed to play in the courtyard?
Yeah.
Yes would be the answer.
Yes.
So why were you playing there?
Because there was nowhere else to play.
Well, you could play in the courtyard. You can be out there, you can talk, you can do your homework, you can text message your friends, you can do a whole bunch of things. You're just not supposed to play ball there.
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
Well, I was taking my 3 youngest kids to go pick up my daughter from her after-school program. And I was walking out and they were playing because the grass area where they play is right in front of my door. And as I was approaching my car, the ball flew over this kind of lattice-styled gate, hit my car and bounced off and went across towards the other street. And I immediately went over and talked to the defendant's
Did you see
son.
what kind of ball it was?
It was like a soccer ball.
So you went over and spoke to this young man here?
Yes, I did. And I asked him, I said, did you know that you hit my car? And he didn't really say much. He just
Is that what she said to you?
Yes.
Where was your soccer ball at the time that she said that to you?
It was on the other side of the street.
Did you get the soccer ball?
No, Omar went to go get the ball.
I do have some pictures.
I'd like to see
to
them.
show. Did you want the damage to the car or just the courtyard?
Just the courtyard, please. So, Ms. Jimenez, when the plaintiff came to you and said that your son had damaged her car, what did you do?
Actually, she went over like days later and told me about that my son had hit the car. And I told her that my son wasn't home. So I told her if it was okay to wait until he comes home. And she said, no, it has to do it right now. I said, okay. So I called Omar, and I told Omar to go with me to go see the car. So we went over downstairs, and I saw all the bumps and stuff that the car has. And then I told her, I said, I don't know if my son hit her or not because he's not here. And I told Omar, and he goes, yes, but it didn't hit her car. It bounced all the way to the other side. I said, okay. And he goes, the ball fell on the puddle of water that it was there.
Who kicked the ball when it went over?
Me. Coily.
Just a second. You did, correct?
Yes.
Did you see the ball from the time he kicked it until the time it fell in the puddle?
Yes.
And you're telling me that you saw it and it never bounced off something?
Yes.
Yes, what?
I didn't see it hit the car.
Well, because you didn't see it hit the car doesn't mean it didn't hit the car. What you're telling me is the ball was kicked and it went over, and the first place it landed was in a puddle of water?
Yes.
Let me see the damage to the car.
I also have pictures of my car to show that it's not in damaged condition before it was hit. Did you want to see? Okay. I also have videotape too. Of damage and of the kids playing soccer after the incident happened in the courtyard.
What kind of car do you have?
It's a 93 Infiniti J30.
Okay. So Mrs. Jimenez said her son says he didn't do it.
Well, that's what she said to me. Well, I spoke to her about it 2 days after it happened, and she said that she would talk to her son, and I told her that I would get an estimate and get back to her. And when I did, she said that her son said that it wasn't him that kicked the ball.
Your Honor, when I talked to her, I said, can we wait until my son gets home? That way
Listen
we can...
to me, Mrs. Jimenez. The plaintiff says that at a time when the boys were not supposed to be playing in that area, she saw the soccer ball come over the fence and hit her car and then bounce over. Now just follow this. She looks at her car, then she goes over immediately to talk to your son, which is what he says happened.
Scream.
No, I don't care. Scream, talked, whatever. She went over and she spoke to him, correct?
Yes.
And she said to you, did you know you hit my car?
No, Your Honor.
What did she say?
Said who was the one that kicked the ball?
Who was the one who kicked the ball? And what did you say?
I did.
And what did she say?
That it hit her car.
That's what I said.
But, Your Honor, she was inside her car when she was...
Listen to me. What difference does it make whether she was inside her car or outside her car? Just pay attention. Put on your listening ears. You're not listening. Let us say she was in her car and she heard something hit the top of her car. And she comes out, she sees the ball bounce, and she goes over to the boys and says, did you know that you hit my car? Or who kicked the ball? We're not talking about a week later. We're talking about something that happened at that moment. You weren't home. Clearly, a ball hit the top of her car. The moment something hit the top of her car, your son and his friend were playing where they shouldn't have been playing, in the courtyard. Clearly. All of these things, life happens with, there's some rhythm to what happens. The fact that this young man didn't see the ball hit her car doesn't mean it didn't happen at all. She went over immediately and said, you were playing ball, your ball hit my car. And he says nothing. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I know the law. I said, I think I can take the car to any other place and
You
get an
can't.
estimate.
I don't know where you get that law from. Not in any law school that I know in this country.
And later today,
No. Listen to me. I want to hear the words. And make sure that I get the right words because, you know, I can wipe up the floor with this side of the table as well as I can wipe up the floor with this side of the table.
Yes, ma'am.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Carrie Carbajal says neighbor 11-year-old Coeli Jimenez damaged her car when he hit it with a soccer ball.
Now, we're talking about a couple of kids playing ball where they shouldn't in a courtyard because they could just as easily have broken a window or hit somebody. There's a reason why communities have rules, and they shouldn't be breaking the rules.
She shouldn't be breaking the rules. She parked where she's not supposed to be parked. Actually, they do let
Miss Jimenez, the
Your
car
Honor.
didn't get damaged because it was parked in the wrong spot. Listening ears, listening ears. The car got damaged because your son and his friend were playing soccer in a place where they shouldn't have been playing because it's too confined an area, and because that's what happens with soccer balls. You kick them and they go high, and sometimes they get away from you. So they say, you want to play soccer? Go to a field. And because you weren't home to give him permission to go to a field, he played in a place where he shouldn't have. Wrong thing to do. Stop making excuses. Stop looking for reasons not to accept responsibility.
I did not say that, ma'am. I told her that I will pay for the damage if he did it, okay? And I told her, I said, I'm going to find out how much it will be for the damage. And that's when I said no, because she told me it has to be here, $1,700 and something. I said, ma'am, I think I know the law. I said, I think I can take the car to any other place and get an estimate.
You can't. That's not the law. The law doesn't say that the person who caused the damage is allowed to take the property to the mechanic of their choosing to have it fixed. I don't know where you get that law from. Not in any law school that I know in this country.
And then I told her, I said, I can take the car anywhere. And she said, no, it has to be here. And I said, well...
well, it doesn't have to be there. And if I feel as if the estimate for the damage is excessive, I will find that it's excessive. There's a difference, Ms. Jimenez, between the amount of the damage and questioning whether you're responsible. My problem with you is that you questioned your responsibility. And your responsibility exists because I gathered that you permitted your son and his listening ears, I gather that after this incident, you allowed your son and his friends to continue to play ball in the courtyard, which is against the rules, which is why she was taking videos. You're not supposed to do that. So your counterclaim's dismissed. She's allowed to take videos to show that you're breaking the rules. Now I want to see your estimate, because this doesn't look like $1,700 worth of damage to me.
Well, they said that you have to take out the sunroof in order to repair the damage, and that's where the majority of the money is in the reinstallation and the dismantling of the sunroof in order to get to the dent.
Well,
Your Honor,
I think that damage is excessive. You have another estimate?
I was unable to get one. I felt that place was reputable enough for me to take my car.
Your car is 13 years old, madam. You should have gotten 3 estimates, not just one.
That's what I told her.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. Counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, I think she's upset because her kids, they always go and grab stuff that they don't belong to them, and I always go and ask her for her stuff back.
The parents are either not home or they're, not present while the kids are out doing whatever they feel that they want to do.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Carlson versus Getty, come forward.
Kirsten Carlson is suing the mother of her son's former friend, Janice Getty, for the cost to fix her car. Kirsten says Janice's 16-year-old son Nathan wrecked the vehicle during an ice storm.
Miss Carlson, this is your son. His name is Michael.
Yes.
Michael is 18 years old.
19, actually.
19. And Miss Getty, this is your son who is?
17.
And you're Nathan.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you were 18 and you were 16, you took your mother's car.
Yes, ma'am.
Your mother was home at the time, and you allowed Nathan to drive the car.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
He had no license.
I believed he did at the time, then.
Did you have a license?
No, ma'am.
You let him drive the car, and it was in an accident. And your mom wants Mrs. Getty to pay for the damage to your car. Not only does your mom want Mrs. Getty to pay for the damage to your car, but Miss Carlson, you say that you were unable to work for a period of time because you didn't have transportation, and you also want Mrs. Getty to pay for your commissions that you lost.
That's correct.
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
You're lucky I'm even talking to you. Why are you suing her? Why don't you sue him? He's 18 years old. He's responsible for his own actions. He allowed an underage, unlicensed driver to drive your car.
Why do I not sue my son?
Yeah.
Because my son didn't cause the damage to my car.
Yes, he did.
This young man did.
Yes, he did. Oh, he did. You were home at the time. Is that right?
Correct, uh-huh.
How many people were in the house, Michael?
Ma'am, my mother was the only one inside of the house at the time.
Did you ask her if you could take the car?
No, I did not, ma'am.
Why not?
The keys were there. Thought it would just be a good idea to take it out.
Why? There was an ice storm, according to your mother.
Yes, there was.
So that was pretty dumb.
Very dumb.
If you had asked your mother, and if there was an ice storm, would you think your mother would have said, don't take the car out now, you have no place special to go, the weather's bad?
I'm sure I didn't ask, though, so I don't know what she would have said.
What do you think she might have said in an ice storm if you weren't going to an emergency room in a hospital, sir?
She would have said no.
Right. So you chose not to ask her.
Yes, ma'am.
Who drove the car out of the driveway?
I did, Your Honor.
When did young Nathan here take possession of the car?
About a block away from the house.
Tell me how that happened, Nathan.
Michael...
is not an answer.
I'm sorry. He drove the car around the block, ma'am, and he was done. He offered me to drive, so...
Well, no. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want to hear the words. And make sure that I get the right words, because, you know, I can wipe up the floor with this side of the table as well as I can wipe up the floor with this side of the table.
Yes, ma'am. We pulled out of Michael's driveway, and he was driving at the time. We took one trip around the block, and he offered me the keys to drive.
What did he say?
He said, "Do you want to drive?" We were basically just having fun, just driving around the block.
But it was an ice storm.
Yes, ma'am.
So why would you get behind the wheel of a car?
I really don't know. It was a bad choice.
Right. When did you get into the accident?
I must have driven around the corner, and I started to turn, and the car lost control, and I ran into a stop sign.
You have pictures of your car?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
I'd like to see them.
No, when it hits the down button.
Yeah, just push the down arrow key and there are three
Do you
photographs.
realize I'm old and my eyesight is bad? You can't develop these things? What? You can hardly even see it's a car. Thank you. Okay, so what happened when you had the accident? You went home and did what?
As soon as I had the accident, Michael flipped out, and he was yelling and kind of crying, and that's whenever...
Why were you yelling and crying? You're 18 years old.
Well, I felt, you know, like...
You felt really what? You were about to say something. Say it. Say the word. You felt really...
Angered.
No. That's the word you started to say, Michael.
Yes,
that's the word you started to say.
I felt responsible, and I felt...
Right. You felt responsible. Why? Because you'd taken your mother's car without permission.
Yes, ma'am.
You would allowed a 16-year-old to drive it, right?
I did.
And now you had to go back and tell your mother that the car was in an accident, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what you did?
Well, I didn't let him drive. I didn't offer to drive. He had begged to drive because I'd assumed he had his license, because he'd been talking about getting his license for several months before that, and that's why I let him drive to begin with.
Your mother thinks you're cute, Michael. She's looking at you like she thinks you're cute. I don't think you're cute. Because the word that you started to use before was responsible. You are responsible. Do you know, Miss Carlson, that if this accident had caused injury to this young man, he would be suing you? You know that? If he had been killed in this accident, his mother would be suing you. She would own your house and everything else that probably you've amassed over the course of your lifetime. He's responsible. He's a minor. He's not. He took your car without permission and allowed a minor to drive the car. And what I'm telling you, Miss Carlson, is you're lucky that he wasn't hurt. Because if he had been injured, you would have been responsible. I mean, there's really no difference in what happened here than if you went out and your son decided to have a party and invited several underage people to the house, served them alcohol, and they went out, drove home, got into an accident, and hurt themselves. You know whose homeowner insurance would be responsible for that?
Correct.
Your son, who's reached majority, gave permission to an unlicensed minor to drive the car in bad weather. I mean, when he knew that his mother wouldn't give him permission to take the car, he stole it. What he really did was your son stole the car. Right, Michael?
Yes, ma'am. You should put it like that.
Good. Now that we understand each other, what are you doing with yourself now, Michael?
I'm enlisting in the Navy soon, ma'am. I'm already in, and I'm just waiting for my ship-off date.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Ms. Getty's answer indicates that you have a pending criminal case. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's not an answer.
Yes, ma'am, that is true.
And that pending criminal case, and I'm not going to ask you anything about it, that pending criminal case is with regard to an assault on your other child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was that after this incident?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you allege that's as a result of this incident?
It may have been. I don't think it's a total result of that, but yes, Your Honor, they were at odds with each other.
Well, you shouldn't ship off to the Navy until you get this criminal matter resolved, Michael.
That
will be resolved soon.
That was not the reason for the assault.
I'm not going to hear anything because I'm sure that Michael has a lawyer with regard to that case, and Michael's lawyer would not like Michael to say anything to me about it until it's over. Ms. Carlson, your problem is with your son. Your son did the wrong thing. And if your son's going into the Navy, that means, as far as I know, we do pay people who are members of the armed forces in this country. I would suggest that you work out a payment schedule with your son for the damage to your car. Do you understand that, Michael?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Goodbye and good luck. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step. Now, this is case number 379 on calendar in the matter of Bishop versus Belseth. Everybody's been sworn in. You may be seated.
No.
Everybody have a seat except
The
them.
children.
The children.
Bird,
Yeah.
find them a nice place outside, would you please?
Certainly.
I'm about to lose it.
Ah, okay. Come this way, gentlemen.
Kids go.
Are you two ladies still neighbors?
No, we are
No.
not.
Who moved?
I did.
Cindy Belseth got evicted from her apartment.
Don't volunteer any information for me, please. I said who moved. That would require a name. Miss Belseth, you moved.
Yes.
You were neighbors for how long?
I moved in February of 2006.
When did you move in?
October of 2005.
And according to what I read, I believe you had duplex apartment. One was on the top and one was on the bottom?
No, it was a 3-floor. The landlord lived on the first floor, Miss Belseth lived on the second floor, and we lived on the third.
Now, I have a complaint and I have a counterclaim. Miss Bishop says that you harassed her, damaged her property, damaged her children's property. She wants punitive damages. And Miss Belseth, you say that Miss Bishop damaged your property. You want damages also for harassment and lost wages. Okay, so you moved into the third floor?
Yes.
Introduced yourself to Miss Belseth?
Yes.
What was the problem with Miss Bishop and her family, Miss Belseth?
From the time that she moved in, there was constant noise, fighting between her and James, stomping across the floor, playing loud music. She's got a loud voice that carries very far. She started saying she'd have pictures of me doing stuff like destroying flowers that she planted or something.
Well, let's start from the beginning. You were annoyed because she has 3 little boys that were stomping around upstairs.
Not the boys. She stomps.
And the boys don't stomp?
No.
Boys are okay?
Yes.
Okay, so that was the problem at the beginning?
Well, I've confronted the landlord several times. I have several letters that
I'd like to see the letters to the landlord, please. Miss Belseth, this letter you have dated December 18, 2005. Miss Bishop and her family didn't move in until February 2006.
Does that one mention Krista and them, or is that on another issue I had?
That there were mice in my apartment. I verbally told Charles when I first moved in I thought there were mice in my apartment. Okay, so this has nothing to do with her. This is about mice. April 21st, 2006. You complained to the landlord about her and her children and their bikes. Then in June again you wrote to the landlord, my lease is coming up for renewal in October. I hope there are no surprises in store for me. Why would you think there are any surprises?
Because of all the defamation of character that Krista was saying about me.
Sounds to me as if you would want to move. All these complaints that you have, August, September, April, and again in September, October. It seemed to me you would want out of the apartment if you were having so much trouble. You had trouble before she moved in, too.
The trouble before she moved in was with the fact that I thought there might be mice in the apartment. There were
I
not.
got you, but you had trouble before she moved in, too. So the landlord wasn't happy with you before. All right. And your counterclaim is that she bleached all your clothes.
She did.
I have pictures of the clothes, by the way.
About what?
The clothes she claims that I bleached, which I did not do. It conveniently was on the same day that the trampoline was destroyed for good. My complaints were, on June 2nd, first, she called the police. We had left to go to the bank. The landlords knew we left to go just cash out
Don't tell me
checks.
what the landlord knew. You left to go to the bank.
She called the police thinking we were going to be gone for a while. I was home. The police come knocking on my door and tell me that they had a complaint that 3 young boys, not of age to be home alone, were running amok through the building from the night before all the way till the morning, and she did not know when I would be home.
Just a second. When you went to the bank to cash your check, what did you do with your boys?
They stayed home with my oldest son. He's 13. I have 13-year-old, 11, and 7.
When was he 13?
In October, sorry.
And when did this happen?
This happened in June, so he was
So
12
he was
at
12?
the time. Yeah.
How do you know? He was 12. Can't be home alone.
He was
Can't
12?
be home alone with 2 young children.
Oh, well,
Keep
the officer
going.
said
Keep going.
that it was okay, but
Officer
anyways.
didn't say it was okay at all.
My first complaint was with the bike. I came home one day from work, and my neighbor had told me that I had better go take a look at my kids' bikes because...
Listen to me. Don't tell me what your neighbors told you. That's hearsay.
Okay. I went into the shed to witness what I was told, that she had been throwing things
Listen
around.
to me, Miss Bishop. You're not following me, madam. You can't get in the back door what you can't get in the front door. You found bicycles broken.
My son's bike was thrown across the shed with another.
You have any witnesses as to who did that?
My neighbor saw her. She was supposed to come, but her children fell ill too.
Then you have no proof that she did anything.
She admitted it to my landlord, and I have it. And she admitted it in front of a housing mediator when she took us to court in front of him. And I have that notarized.
Listen to me very carefully. You need a witness. Do you understand? The fact that something is notarized merely means that the person who signed it says this is my signature. That doesn't make the testimony true. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Good. So, do you have any proof that the defendant damaged the bicycle?
Well, I have. All the children had designated spots for their bikes.
Now, Miss Bishop, answer my question.
And
I acknowledge for the purposes of this question, a bicycle was damaged.
Right, it was thrown from its
Listen to me carefully. For the purpose of this question, the bicycle was damaged. Do you have any eyewitness proof that the defendant did it?
I have her property in my son's designated area, and I have his bike thrown across the shed.
It's not proof. Next.
I have a police report, and I have pictures of the police witnessing the trampoline she ruined. She sliced it.
Just a second. You have a police who observed her slash the trampoline?
The police didn't, but they went over to my neighbor who was supposed to be here today.
I'm not going to say this again. I need eyewitness proof to the acts that you ascribe to the defendant. Did the police witness any person damaging your property?
No, they just went and spoke to the witness.
I acknowledge for the purpose of the question the fact that a trampoline was damaged, but you have no proof that the defendant did it.
I have letters.
Ms. Bishop, enough.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Oh, you are a foul lady, Miss Bishop.
Well,
you have a foul mouth, madam.
Yeah.
Nasty. Nasty lady.
And later today.
Well, there must have been something that happened that you folks are not discussing with me.
This police report would probably be one of them.
And what was that about?
I have asked her that many times, and she cannot give me a reason why or why she does not like me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Krista Bishop says former neighbor Cindy Belseth vandalized property belonging to her and her children. Cindy is countersuing, claiming Krista vandalized her property.
Get to your counterclaim. Do you have any witnesses that allegedly saw Miss Bishop throw bleach on your clothes?
I have a witness here that was with me.
Step up, sir. Who are you?
My name is Robert Norwood.
Do you remember an incident involving the clothes?
Yes.
When did that happen? Look at me. Don't look at the paper.
No, I'm just trying to think of the exact date.
Do you remember the month?
It's like around in between June and October.
Listen, you are not a judge, is that right?
Correct.
If you're the judge and you ask me to tell you about an incident and you want to rely on what I'm telling you about everything that you remember, and you cannot even remember the month within 5 months of what you saw, would you rely on my testimony?
I would have some questions.
That's absolutely right. You still want to tell me what you saw in June, October?
From what I've witnessed, yes.
Only about the clothes.
As far as the clothing part, what I witnessed...
Look at me.
As far as the clothing part, what I witnessed was something being thrown from above. Now, a couple of days later, when I came back to visit, they showed me clothing that had bleach on it.
Okay, so you didn't witness anything. So when you came back a few days later, they showed you in the apartment that there was bleach on the clothes. Is that right?
Correct.
Very good. You can have a seat. Listen to me. Go would be what?
I have a tape of her threatening me and harassing me.
She hides tapes, which is...
I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear her threatening you and harassing you. I'd like to hear what she said. Oh, you are a foul lady, Miss Bishop.
Well, when
you have a foul mouth, madam.
Yeah, I do have a foul mouth.
You do have a foul mouth.
When my son's stuff was destroyed,
you
I did
have a foul mouth, Miss Bishop. I don't care whether your son's bicycle was destroyed or there was...
But I never threatened her. I just asked her to come outside.
You didn't ask her to come outside. Listen to me. Listen to me. Nasty. Nasty lady. Case is dismissed. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And I had called the cops.
You know, bad things happen to bad people.
And the cops went up to her and told her to quiet down.
Karma will get her in the end.
And this is what started everything.
She's just a mean old lady, that's what it is.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Campbell versus Campbell Shelton. Step forward.
Linda Campbell is suing her son, 22-year-old Gary Campbell, and his girlfriend, Shannon Shelton, for rent, an electric bill, and the cost of an eviction warrant.
Mrs. Campbell, this is your son?
Yes.
And this is his current girlfriend?
Yes.
Your complaint alleges that the two of them owe you a small amount for rent,
Yes.
for an electric bill, and for the cost of getting them evicted when you wanted them out of the rental property. Your son says that he paid his rent while he lived there, with the exception of 2 weeks when you were harassing him, that the electric bill was paid, except that when you were trying to get him out of the apartment, shut off the electricity, and he doesn't even address the issue of the eviction warrant. Mr. Campbell, tell me about the apartment that you were renting from your mother.
It was just a one-bedroom apartment.
In what kind of dwelling?
It was next door, probably 100 feet from my parents' house.
And what was the rent arrangement?
$500 a month.
Which included what?
The water bill.
What month did you move into the apartment?
July 1st.
What month did you move out of the apartment?
September 20th.
Did you pay July's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay August's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay September's rent?
No.
Why hadn't you paid rent September 1st? Mr. Campbell, there's an answer to that question. I know you're going to give it to me. Why hadn't you paid rent to your mother September 1st?
Well, because she come over to the house saying she wants us out. So I said, either I can't give you any money if you want us out. I need to find another place. You know, and I offered to give her the money. I offered to give her some money for the electric bill, too, and she didn't want it.
Why did your mother say she wanted you out if you were paying rent and if you were good tenants?
The only reason I can think of is because she said she didn't want me with the girl that had a kid that wasn't mine.
Is that what you told you?
Yes.
Is that right?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Campbell, there had to be another reason other than non-payment of rent for you to want them out of the apartment. You want to tell me why you wanted them out?
Yes. It was never paid on time. They would pay me like $250 and would be promised to pay the other $250 at the middle of the month, which it would always be like the end of the month before I would ever get it.
Now, if you think that as a mother, I'm accepting your statement that they paid the rent but not on time as a reason for evicting them, I don't buy that. I'm just telling you. I don't buy that at all. I've had my children living in places that I owned for a very long time. Not only would they even consider paying me rent, but if they did, which would have been lovely, if they were a little late, I wouldn't have evicted them. So there had to be something else unless you're not a normal lady. So you want to tell me why you got a bee in your bonnet in September? Go ahead.
Shannon had lost her job basically because she would not find child care for her daughter. And I had questioned them of whether they had prepared for this, because they had a young lady that was keeping the little girl, but she had to go back to school. Once school started up, they had no one. Gary had come to me and asked me, would I keep her? Twice. I said, no, it's not something I'm going to do. And I assumed she was fired from her job because she couldn't show up because she had no one to keep the child. And she just sat there for week upon week without a job.
That is not true.
So?
And on what he made, he could not fulfill the obligations that they had without Shannon's help of income. And to me, it looked like she was doing nothing to try to do anything about getting a job.
So you were being judgmental about their lifestyle?
Well, not necessarily that. If I was being judgmental, I don't think I would have ever allowed them to move in the first place.
Well, you were judgmental about their lifestyle because if your son decides, well, I don't care, if she wants to stay home, let her stay home, I'll get 2 jobs.
They weren't paying me. It was sporadic the way they were paying me. They never had any food in the house for Jordan, the little 3-year-old girl. She came to me and told me, my mom hit me in the face today and made my nose bleed. And Shannon was standing right there when Jordan told me this, and she did not deny it. And she said, did you tell them what you were doing, that you were smart-mouthing? And she says, Mommy, you shouldn't have done that.
Ms. Campbell, is it a fair statement that you think your son made a bad choice this time? Sure it is. Okay, now, when was the electricity shut off?
The Friday before we moved out, so the 16th, 17th of September.
How did you shut off the electricity, Miss Campbell?
It was in my husband's name, and when they moved in, I said just leave it that way to try and help them out as far as deposits.
You mean you just called the company and said shut off the electricity?
They had called me twice in 2 weeks about the electric bill not being paid, and I was tired of being harassed.
Did you shut off the electricity before or after a judge signed the eviction warrant?
Before?
Just a couple of days before.
You can't do that. Law doesn't permit you to do that. That's harassment. If you've been given an eviction notice that has a date on it and they don't move on that date, then in most jurisdictions you're able to resort to, well, I'm not paying the extra bills on the place. But you can't just turn off the electricity and say, now you have no lights, now you have to move, before you have gotten court approval to do that. You're not allowed to do that. Now, prior to the 16th of September, what was the outstanding electric bill?
$257.21.
That's not true.
What was the bill up to the 16th?
It was 103.
103.
It was due on the 9th.
Has a previous balance here of $231. I believe. I don't have my glasses. I'm sorry.
Can I see it, please? Do you have any checks that you wrote out for electricity?
No, ma'am.
Well, there was a previous balance here of $231.18.
I have receipts for them. I don't have them with me.
Well, you knew you were coming to court today. You knew that you were being sued for an electric bill. Why didn't you bring them with you?
I wasn't told that I needed it.
You wouldn't have to be told that you need it. You're coming to court today. That's what you're coming to court for. You owe them $257.21. You owe that to your mother for the electric. You owe her nothing for rent. She had no right to turn off the electricity. She harassed you. She's not, as a landlord, she's not allowed to do that. You paid the rent for the 2 months that you were living there, and by the third month she wanted you out, and she resorted to self-help, which you can't do. I don't know what, if anything, you could do to repair the relationship that you have or had. What do you think, Mr. Campbell?
About the relationship or?
The relationship that you had with your mother.
I don't know.
Did you get along before you had this young lady?
We both did. We all got along.
Well, there must have been something that happened that you folks are not discussing with me.
This police report would probably be one of them.
And what was that about?
On the 14th, she came over to the house and told me I had to be out by 6 o'clock. This was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Said she would call the police if I was not out.
Did she say why?
I have asked her that many times, and she cannot give me a reason why or why she does not like me. I mean, we've been shopping together before. We've went over there and ate at their house, and just one day, all of a sudden, she doesn't like me anymore. As of 6 o'clock, actually I think it was about 5:30, she came over and started calling me every name in the book.
Got it. Okay, well, listen, in the short time that I have, I'm certainly not going to delve into the pathology of this family. It's just very unfortunate because you've been a good mom, and I can't for the life of me figure out what precipitated it. See if you can find somebody that'll be able to mediate this problem, because before it gets too bad, if you're going to spend, hopefully, I know based upon what is in your eyes with this young lady, a very long time, it would be a really nice idea if you got back together with your folks. That's all. Thank you.
Parties that is accused may step out. Number 22 on the calendar in the matter of Schroeder versus Weeks. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Mr. Schroeder, the defendant is your daughter. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm having a little bit trouble hearing you.
Okay, I will speak louder. Your wife passed away recently,
yes.
And it is your claim that your daughter took certain jewelry of your wife's that you would like back.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what this claim is about.
Yes, ma'am.
Your daughter says that it was your wife's wish that she have this jewelry.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Weeks, was this the only property that your mother left?
She left some other family heirlooms and personal property, but nothing of significant value.
I assume that that's a box. Is that a box?
This is the watch that he claims, and the ring was my mother's.
I'd like to see both, please. Were your parents, Miss Weeks, estranged at the time of her death?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Well, in September of 1999, my mother was placed in an adult family home.
What was her illness?
Her diagnosis was multiple sclerosis at that time. And she was falling a lot. She was being left alone a lot. And Adult Protective Services were involved because of the fire department having to, she had one of those life call buttons. And the fire department was called to the house quite frequently to pick her up. And they felt that she was in a neglectful situation because she was not being properly cared for. And so Adult Protective Services started searching for alternative living arrangements for her.
And according to the complaint that I've read and your answer, there came a time around 1999 where you were given by your mother power of attorney.
That is correct.
Subsequently, in 2000, you were appointed her guardian.
That is correct.
Was her diagnosis ever modified from multiple sclerosis to something else?
Not officially, no.
All right. Now, what I found interesting about your answer was that in 2000 you were in fact appointed her guardian.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the court found that she was unable to take care of herself and make decisions for herself.
That is correct.
When was it that your mother told you that she wanted you to have this jewelry?
October, November of '99.
Did you take the jewelry at that time?
I did. And later, early part of 2000, she asked for me to give her back her ring because she wanted to wear it.
And she wore it until she died?
Yes, ma'am.
I do not want to get involved in, because I don't think it's necessary to estrange the two of you any further. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
How many?
I have 3 brothers and a sister.
Are you in touch with your other children, sir? Do you have any contact with your other children?
Pardon me?
Do you have any contact with your other
No, I
children?
don't.
So you have no contact with any of your children?
Even my youngest boy got up and left at the funeral when my wife, her services were. And my daughter, to my immediate left, didn't even take the time to go to her mother's funeral.
Ms. Weeks, very briefly, can you tell me why all of the children, from your perspective, don't have contact with their father? Your parents were married for, according to this, 47 years.
Yes. My father, from the time we were small children, was very abusive towards the 5 of us children, as well as my mother. And I have the guardian ad litem report that has statements to that effect, if you would like to see that. And he was never supportive of any of our decisions or anything that we felt we wanted to do, and was very mean, has said very mean and hateful things towards my middle brother, to the point where
so it's a whole history.
Yeah, it's a very, very long and sordid history.
But Ms. Weeks, doesn't it strike you that in early 2000, your mother wanted her wedding rings back? Why do you think she wanted her wedding rings back?
She'd been married and wearing them for 40 years, and she missed wearing them. And
that's usually a symbolic thing.
It was a symbolic thing, yes.
She missed wearing them.
Yes.
I understand that you had gotten a protective order so that he didn't go to the nursing home after a certain point. At what point did he stop going to the nursing home?
In February of 2000 is when the order of protection was put into place due to his behavior when he did visit her and phone calls that he made when he called her there.
I am going to try to resolve this issue, as I think, as wisely as I can. Your mother gave you this watch in 1999.
No, the watch, Bob gave her that watch late last year. If he wants that watch back, he can have that watch back. That watch has no significant sentimental value to me whatsoever. What has value to me are my mother's things. He abandoned their home, and if I hadn't retrieved the few family heirlooms that I had retrieved from the home, they would have been in the city dump.
I'm talking about these two things, Mrs. Weeks.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I can understand probably each of the children wanting to have a memento, something
yes, ma'am,
to look at and to touch of their mothers. I can also understand from your father's perspective. Are you living alone now, sir?
I'm living, I have my own room. I'm taking care of a 90 lady that will soon be 91 years old.
But this is somebody that you care for, this is a job?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me why you want these wedding rings back, Mr. Schroeder.
I bought those rings for my wife 47 years ago. I gave my wife the first ring at her home at East Indiana when I was invited to supper by her mother, who has passed away. I feel I'm entitled to these rings. I paid for them since my daughter has made such terrible accusations about me, which are all unprovable. And I feel that I should have the rings and the watch back, plus other things that she took out of the home.
We're not talking about other things,
All right.
Mr. Schroeder. We're talking about the
ring
watch
and the watch. Yes, ma'am.
and the rings.
And-
Now, let me ask you this question, Mr. Schroeder.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had to make a choice between the watch and the rings as something, as a memento, which would you want?
I want them both, Your Honor. I paid for them.
That's not the answer, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your children don't talk to you, Mr. Schroeder. There has to be a reason. And unless you want to live the rest of your life by yourself, I would suggest you do a little soul searching and figure out what that was.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Schroeder says his daughter, Julie Weeks, won't return his late wife's possessions. Julie says it was her mother's wish that she have the items.
Are they of equal importance to you?
Yes, ma'am.
You feel the same way. One was a gift to your wife.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you telling me, Mr. Schroeder, that each of these items are as important to you as the other?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm going to ask you the same question, Miss Weeks. If I were to ask you which of these items, memento from your mother, is more important to you, which would it be?
It would be her ring. I wear it every day.
Give her, Miss Weeks, the ring. Give Mr. Schroeder the watch. Mr. Schroeder, that was the wrong answer, sir. The fact that you paid for them and they were yours is not the answer.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to tell you why, Mr. Schroeder. Children don't replace emotionally the loss of a parent, in this case, their mother. Sometimes mates replace emotionally their mate. They may never forget, but they replace emotionally. If you said to me, I want the rings back because we were married with those rings, she wore those rings for 47 years, they're part of our history, I want them, I would have given you the rings. And you have to understand that, Miss Weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
But to you, it didn't make any difference. You said to me, I paid for both. They're equally as important to me, so I want them both. Well, I knew that they weren't equally as important to your daughter. Right?
That's right.
You have the watch, you have the rings, you probably never make up, I assume. Is that right?
That is correct, ma'am.
I assume so. That's very sad, but
it is sad.
You're a grown-up adult, and he probably is a lonely old man who doesn't have at this point in his life the support of his children or his grandchildren. I assume you don't see your grandchildren either.
No, I have a call regularly from Marianne in Florida.
Well, Mr. Schroeder, you should do a little
Marianne
bit.
is Julie's oldest daughter.
How old are you, sir? How old are you?
70 years old.
Well, that's not so old, Mr. Schroeder. There's still time for you to try to do something to get back into the good graces of your family. But you also have to look at yourself and say, what is it that I did over the last 45 years to my family that makes them all cut me off? Your children don't talk to you, Mr. Schroeder. There has to be a reason. And unless you want to live the rest of your life by yourself, I would suggest you do a little soul searching and figure out what that was. Thank you very much. The case is over.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I've tried to be kind to Bob. I've tried to show him care, and every time I open up and try to be kind to the man, he is hateful towards me.
I hope that someday that I can get to a point where I can see my grandchildren.
He has made the decision about his family.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Schwab versus Fadin. Step forward, please.
Office manager Bonnie Schwab is suing travel agent Giancarlo Fadin for the cost of 2 tickets to Greece. Bonnie says she won the tickets in a raffle, and Giancarlo reneged on the prize.
Ms. Schwab, you were the lucky winner of 2 tickets to Greece.
Yes, I was.
About 2 years ago.
May of 2000.
And where did you win these tickets?
At the Valley Greek Festival that they have every year in May.
Was it a raffle ticket?
It was a raffle ticket. A girl I work with, her children go to school there, and I bought tickets.
And due to circumstances, according to your complaint, you were unable to use the tickets for a while. The defendant had donated the tickets. You have a travel agency, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you want to use the airline tickets. The defendant says you waited too long. That's your defense. Is that pretty much it?
Pretty much it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bonnie Schwab says after entering a raffle at a Greek festival, she won 2 tickets to Greece. Bonnie claims travel agent Giancarlo Fedin is trying to renege on the prize.
Do you have a copy of the stub, your contest stub, or any other literature from the contest?
I have a letter from the church stating that I won first prize in the raffle.
Okay. All right, and that was in May of 2000.
Right.
Did you schedule the trip?
We scheduled a trip. Mr. Fadin gave us an itinerary when we went to see him in January.
Who's we?
My boyfriend at the time. We went to see him, and he wrote us an itinerary. We discussed with him that we would like to go to Italy. Mr. Fadin said we could go to Italy instead of Greece, so he prepared an itinerary.
And this was done in January?
Of 2001.
And when were you planning to take the trip?
May of 2001. Subsequently, due to circumstances beyond my control, I was not able to go with my boyfriend. So I called Christine, Mr. Fadin's wife, and asked them if I could put the trip off until October of that year. And they agreed to, of 2001, and they agreed that they would do that.
So far, is that correct?
Yes.
Then what happened?
Well, then the summer passed, and then September 11th happened. I was afraid to travel, especially to Europe. Being an American, I didn't know what would happen. The airlines and the airports were crazy. So I wrote them a letter and faxed it to them in October, and I received no response. I asked them to call me.
Do you have a copy of that letter?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you acknowledge receiving a letter from her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we have a standard letter that we send to the organization. We donate to the Italian community, in this case the Greek community, because we specialize travel to Europe, especially Italy and Greece. And the letter pretty much states...
Well, let me take a look at the letter that you say that you send to everybody, but you didn't send it to the plaintiff.
Well, we wouldn't have, because we would have sent it to church.
No, but you,
I never saw that
just a
letter.
second. You say here that the tickets are valid for 1 year from the date of the prize drawing, and this is dated March 15th of 2000. I have no idea when this was typed, Mr. Fadin, but certainly you cannot impugn the information here to the plaintiff unless it was written on the stub that, you know, grand prize, 2 tickets to Greece, trip must be taken within 1 year.
We donate the tickets to the church with the intent of creating goodwill in the community. The church is then raffling and selling the tickets and collecting the money from, in this case, Ms. Schwab, and we have no responsibility on that.
You do. You have responsibility for the 2 tickets, sir. First of all, you agreed to put...
We have donated the 2 tickets to church.
No, you have donated the 2 tickets, not to St. Nicholas Church, Mr. Fade. You have donated the tickets to be used as part of a raffle. I don't see what your problem is, Mr. Faden. It would seem to be now, if you wanted to purchase 2 tickets to Greece, it would be a lot cheaper than it was 2 years ago.
Well, let me explain. After September 11, my company lost $200,000. When the lady called to postpone her trip, I wasn't even sure that I would be in business the following spring.
But you are in business.
Well, thank you. I worked very hard for it.
Good, but you are in business, so you have to give her tickets.
I would like to call my witness at a certain point, Your Honor.
To say what?
Because she really dealt with pristine strategy most of the time.
More than happy to hear from the witness if she has something else to say.
No, I can stand. Your Honor, I don't know exactly what to say. I think I do understand that there was perhaps a miscommunication between the agency and the church and perhaps Ms. Schwab. However, when September 11th came, again, as Giancarlo has said, we really didn't know where we stood, and perhaps it's difficult for somebody who doesn't work in the travel industry to understand. There were literally envelopes, I mean loads of tickets coming back. Every phone call was a cancellation. It came so late. It came 2 years later. And I
Well, it
understand
didn't come
that
2 years later. It came a year and a half later.
a year and a half
And
later.
you had already agreed to allow her to take the trip in October.
I understand that.
So
but
if you
again,
allowed her to take the trip in October, despite the fact that you really didn't have any choice, but you said, okay, you want to travel in October, travel in October. And then the events of September 11th, which you acknowledge devastated your business.
Totally.
You had no time to respond to this letter that she sent.
No,
because you
not
were
really.
trying to
I
keep
was
your
too
heads
busy
above
to-
water. So
Correct.
you acknowledge that it was a tumultuous time.
Absolutely.
In your world, it was this important. This whole trip was.
Sullivan versus Sims. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Sullivan, I assume this is your daughter, is that right? And this is your son-in-law?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, your daughter and son-in-law purchased a car that was for your benefit.
Mm-hmm.
That was back in
March
of last year.
Correct.
And the agreement was that you would make a monthly payment that would cover the car payment and insurance.
Correct.
To your daughter and son-in-law.
Correct.
And you would have the car, and when the car was paid off, I assume it would be yours. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So far correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You did have the car for a period of time. Then you had an accident with the car in
Correct.
a parking lot. And you called your son-in-law.
Yes.
According to you, you put a note on the car.
Yes.
Did you put the note on the other car, or did your son-in-law?
I put it on the car that I hit, right
Yes.
next to me.
On the note was?
My name, phone number, and that I worked next door at Randall's, and the phone number.
You believe he took the note off the car you
They-
hit?
yes.
Because they never contacted
Correct.
you. And there was damage to that car.
Yes.
You didn't do that, did you, Mr. Sims?
No, ma'am.
And shortly thereafter, Mr. Sims repossessed the car and sold it. You are suing, according to your complaint, for the whole value of the car.
Correct.
Which you're not entitled to. So let's be realistic. Let's say you're suing for the payments that you made on the car. April, May, June, July, and August, if you made the 5 months worth of payments.
Mm-hmm. And I did not miss a payment.
Okay.
I was
And
told...
that's your statement. I did not miss a payment.
And-
That was our agreement, and he had no right to take the car back,
Right.
and therefore I want the payments. How much were your payments each month?
Well, he told me $200 when we signed the original agreement. $200 a month, that included insurance.
How much was the insurance on the car, Mr. Sims?
$62.96.
Mr. Sims, how much did you pay for the car?
I purchased the car for $1,500. I put $600 of the repairs to the car because I purchased it damaged.
Okay, and you sold it when?
About 2 weeks ago.
And how much did you sell it for?
$3,200.
And how much did you pay to fix it as a result of the accident that your mother-in-law had?
What she did, she bent the door around to the fender.
Just tell me how much you paid to fix it.
$150, but it didn't fix it correctly. It just made the door open and close. It did not repair the car back to the original condition.
Say nothing. Yet. Say nothing
Okay.
yet.
All right.
So let's say you spent $2,200 on the car.
Correct.
You sold it for $3,200, giving you $1,000 profit, and your mother-in-law gave you $137 a month times 5 equals $685.35. So you got that too.
Correct.
So this is going to take care of your counterclaim, because you're suing her for $660 for miscellaneous damages incurred in relation to the car. That's your counterclaim. That's out, because you had no loss, sir. You have a profit.
All right, I understand.
You have a profit. So you suffered no damage. So your counterclaim is dismissed. Now let's talk about what your mother-in-law wants.
Okay, I need to speak.
Now I'm ready.
He works at a body shop. He didn't pay nothing to have that car fixed.
I don't care whether he did or whether
Okay?
he didn't.
And he
I don't-
raised
that
the
has nothing-
payments.
that has nothing to do with you.
He raised my payments from
To what?
$200 to $230 a month.
When did he
Before
change
I made the first payment, I'm sorry,
Just a second.
April.
Okay,
April
230.
11th. He raised it.
Is that right, sir?
Well,
Is that right or wrong? She has proof. I'm sure she has checks or
here.
whatever. Is that
yeah, we
correct?
agreed on the raise of the payment. It was due to the insurance increase.
So we have 230 less 62.96, 167.04 times 5, $835.20. I'm going to give you 1 minute, Mr. Sims, to explain to me why you don't think that you owe your mother-in-law $835.20.
We had an agreement that she was going to purchase the car, like you said. But also in that agreement, no one was supposed to drive the car. Well, she was letting the other brother-in-law drive the car, which I had a witness see him in the car.
Go ahead.
Also, she took the car to Chicago
against my wishes, taking it out of town. Our original agreement was that the car was mine. I purchased the car, put it in my name, I put the insurance in my name, I registered it in my name, and I told her, here's the car, this is what we're going to do. You pay the car to me each month, and then when the 13 months are over, I'll sign it over to you, do whatever you like. But in the time that you're driving the vehicle, the liability is on me with my insurance and everything covering me. I don't want anyone driving it. Drive it, do your errands, run back and forth to work. But I don't want the car leaving the state. I don't want the car going anywhere. Just keep it here in town.
Mrs. Sims, I read that. I read your defense, sir. However, your problem is you didn't take it back from her then.
Okay, you're right.
You took it back from her when she had an accident in the parking lot.
I didn't take it back from her. What she did, she was letting people drive the car. Then when she damaged the car, then when she damaged the vehicle, she brought the car to me and handed me the keys and wanted me to fix the vehicle. The daughter-in-law got upset with me and mad because I wouldn't file an insurance claim against my own policy to make me pay the increase over the next 3 years. And so they started feuding all over again. That's when I talked with her and I asked her, hey, we need to do something different here. Can you go get a loan for the balance due on the car? I can sign the car to you and we can quit all this fighting and carrying on and be done with it. You can do what you like. She agreed to go get her own loan.
Stop playing with the papers.
Sorry.
She went out, tried 2 or 3 different banks. No one would loan her the money because of her past history and her credit. It's so horrible she couldn't get it. So then she comes to me and says, you know what, I'm going to save the money for 6 weeks. Can you hold the car 6 weeks and I'll pay you in full? 4 weeks go by. She calls my wife and says, I got $20 to my name. I can't pay it. I said, okay, what are we going to do now? She said, well, I'm just going to take you to court and sue you for my interest. I said, well, how about I give you all your money back? I offered to give her every penny she paid, including the insurance. She agreed to that too. Then on Sunday morning, she calls and tells me, no, she don't want to do that either.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't know whether or not you took off the note, if there was a note placed on the other car in the parking lot. If you did, that was a foul thing to do.
And later today,
the vet told us there was no way the cat could have broken its leg in 5 places just from tossing off the side. She had to have been pretty much slammed to the ground to have broken it the way it did.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Phyllis Sullivan says son-in-law Chip Sims repossessed her car for absolutely no reason. Chip says Phyllis has been irresponsible with the vehicle.
What you should have done, Miss Sullivan, is take him up on his offer. Because if he was willing to give you all the money that you paid in the car, including the insurance, you should have accepted it. Because from me, you're only going to get the money that you paid on the car itself, less the insurance.
Your Honor.
Yeah, what?
The car, I mean, this was a business contract. I couldn't get a loan because I filed bankruptcy.
Show me the business contract.
Right?
Show me the contract. Show me what it says. Show me the contract.
Shh. Nobody drove that car. His so-called character witness has a warrant for his arrest for hitting a police officer.
Would you please stop talking and hand me the contract?
I'm sorry.
You don't have one.
There's the contract. This is my thing from bankruptcy. And
no, listen to me. I asked you for the contract.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did you ever have a conversation with your mother about somebody else driving the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Step up. Tell me when.
Less than a month into the deal with the car.
Tell me what the conversation was.
I called her to let her know that we had spoken to a fellow family member who saw someone else driving the car. When I asked her about it, she proceeded to cry and say, I would never do something like that. You told me you didn't want anyone driving the car. I wouldn't do that. I would never hurt you or Chip like that. That's our agreement. I wouldn't let someone drive the car.
Okay. I have to make a determination as to what your damages are, Miss Sullivan.
Okay.
And by the way, Mr. Sims, I don't know whether or not you took off the note, if there was a note placed on the other car in the parking lot. If you did, that was a foul thing to do. Otherwise, I cannot understand why somebody would not have contacted you to have their car fixed. It's not reasonable that if you come out and you see somebody left their name and number and said, I hit your car.
Right.
That they would not contact that person unless the note was taken off the car. In any event, I believe that you're entitled to, based upon this agreement, you're entitled to your money back, because this agreement says that if at any time I default upon my payments, Ronald has the right to take the car back, and I will forfeit any payments already made. She never defaulted on her payments, so you had no right to take her car back.
I didn't take the car back. She brought the car to me.
I don't believe that's true. And I believe that you made a profit. Now, just shit, quiet. I believe that you made a profit on the car. You don't have to make a really handsome profit. So instead of making $1,838, you're only going to make $1,000 worth of profit.
$1,800 because she'd already filed this suit once, which I had to hire an attorney to fight her the first time, that she never showed up to court. I had to
I don't
fight
have
her.
that. Listen to me, Mr. Sims. Mr. Sims.
I've got the original court
I don't
and
have
a dismissal from it.
pay careful attention to me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have that as part of a counterclaim.
Right.
In any event, what I'm telling you is, you have the right, if you sold the car, you made a profit. Your profit was in excess of $1,000.
Well,
Because-
I kept the car for 5 months waiting to solve this case, waiting to go to court, which we had our court date. She didn't appear.
What difference does it make, sir? What difference does it make as far as the profit that you made?
Right, exactly.
She put in $835.20. That's less the insurance over a 5-month period, and she's entitled to get it back under your contract. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I just want them out of my life. I just want to go on about my own life and let her live her life, let me live mine.
He couldn't claim it on his insurance because he's got too many other insurance claims going on.
This isn't the first time in my life my mother's disappointed me.
My son-in-law, Chip, told me that I'm putting the stake in the family.
We warned her before she filed this suit to let her know she would never see me and she would never see her grandson again. She continued to do it, and I'm going to stand by my word.
I'm very hurt. I'm going to miss my daughter and my grandson.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Block versus Ulrich. Step forward, please.
Loan officer Chris Block and his wife Deanna are suing their neighbor, cleaning company vice president Steve Ulrich, for vet bills. The Blocks claim the son of Steve's girlfriend, 12-year-old Dustin Miller, threw their kitten down a flight of stairs.
Mr. and Mrs. Block, who's going to speak for you?
Oh, well.
Okay. Neither one of you were home at the time of this incident with the kitten?
No.
Okay. Who was home?
Both kids, I believe, right? No. My son?
Very good. So why don't you have a seat, the two of you? Step up. Mr. Ulrich, this is not your son. You are his guardian, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You weren't there on the 3rd of October, is that right?
Yes.
You were not there.
I was not there.
Why don't you have a seat? Step up here, young man. What's your first name?
Devin.
Devin?
Yeah.
And yours?
Dustin.
All right, this is the complaint. On behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Block, they had a kitten, and they claim that Dustin purposely injured their kitten, causing the kitten's leg to break, and the kitten had to have leg reset. There were substantial medical bills, and they want the defendant to be responsible for those medical bills, you or his mother. The defendant says that Dustin was merely defending himself from this kitten. So let's see what happened. Devin?
Yes.
I want you to tell me what happened on October 3rd with your kitten. How old, first of all, tell me how old the kitten is.
When it happened?
Yes.
About 4 months.
And Dustin was a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Did he play over at your house often?
Yes.
Okay. Did Dustin like the kitten?
Yeah.
So tell me what happened that day.
Well, we were playing video games, and he said he's going to go to the bathroom. And then he comes back, and he says that I didn't really go to the bathroom. I went to go play with the kitten. Well, later that night, she was limping and crying, and you'd touch her leg, she would cry. And we asked him when he went to go play with the cat if he did something, but he said that she was biting him and that he just got angry and annoyed, and he tossed her off the stairs.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tell me what happened, Dustin.
I was playing with the kitten when it bit me, and then
Well, tell me exactly where you were when you were playing with the kitten and it bit you.
I was on the stairs.
What do you mean on the stairs?
Like, the kitten was on the stairs, so I was, like, sitting and petting it.
And the kitten bit you?
Yes.
So what happened after the kitten bit you?
Like, I pulled my hand back to get it off, and it fell off the stairs.
How did it fall off the stairs?
The stairs is not that wide, so when I was sitting down, I was kind of near the edge of this where the stairwell would be.
Isn't there a railing?
No.
Is there a railing?
No, Your Honor. We removed it after we moved in. I have some pictures.
I'd like to see it.
And there's some pictures of after Penrose removed.
Oh, I see. So there is no railing. Who else was there when he confessed?
My mom and my sister.
Well, I'd like to hear from you. Yes. Tell me about the discussion that you had with Dustin that evening.
Well, at first when we'd asked, because I saw the cat was limping and nobody would say anything, so I kept asking the kids over and over again what had happened. Dustin was kind of nervous, and Devin told me that he had left the room. And then it told me about him playing with the cat. So I said, Dustin, what happened? Just tell us what happened. And then he said that when he was playing with her that she started to bite him. So at first he said he went like this and just threw her down the stairs. Then I said, well, there had to have been more than that. So I kept asking him. And then he said, well, he went like this over the edge. And he said, so then he threw her that way.
So he didn't say he picked her up and threw her over the side.
No, but...
Okay. I just want to know what he said.
Okay.
You're 12?
Yeah.
And you're 12?
Yeah.
Well, they're certainly old enough to be home alone by themselves. So I can't fault you for not being there to supervise, but I also am not going to make an order that his parents be responsible for the medical bills for your cat. I mean, I don't think that he purposely did anything to hurt your cat. The cat nips because it's a kitten. But again, he's 12 years old. He doesn't have the intellect, you know, of somebody who's an adult. And he wanted to get the cat off. So let's say he took his hand and went like that, and the cat went over on the side as a reflex. There's nothing more than a reflex to get the cat off. You still think that he's responsible to pay for the vet bills for the cat?
Only because the vet told us there was no way the cat could have broken its leg in 5 places just from tossing off the side. She had to have been pretty much slammed to the ground to have broken it the way it did.
Did you ever have any indication that this young man would do anything to hurt an animal?
Well, the fact that he knew she was hurt and went back to play video games like nothing had happened.
Well, that's not a good thing, right? Tell me why you did that.
Well, first of all, I didn't know the cat was hurt.
Just a second. After the cat goes over, whether you went like this to get the cat off you because the cat was biting you, or whether you pushed the cat down the stairs to get the cat off of you, you had to have sat there for a second and watched what happened when the cat got up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you see the cat limping?
No.
Well, I don't necessarily believe that, Dustin. When you came back inside, did you tell Devin what had happened with the cat?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't really know. I didn't really think it was like a huge deal because when the cat fell, it wasn't moving afterwards when I went up, back upstairs.
It wasn't moving?
No, but...
Well, weren't you worried if it wasn't moving? Dustin?
It was standing.
Do you have an animal at home? You have a dog or a cat?
Bird.
What if your bird was bothering somebody by chirping and the person had a headache and it went over and it rattled the cage really hard and the bird fell to the ground and broke a leg? Would you be angry?
Yes.
Would you think that the person ought to tell you that that's what happened?
Yes.
Do you think that you would have any responsibility? Or that they would have any responsibility?
Like, they would have some responsibility, but we would also have some because it was our bird that got on the person's nerves.
The birds do what birds do. Yes. Birds sing. Kittens nip. And if you don't like it when the kitten is nipping you, then you don't play with the kitten. But Mrs. Block, I don't think that he did this on purpose. And I don't think that his parents had any indication that he had a predisposition to cruelty to animals, which in my judgment would make them responsible. If you have children in your house and you choose to leave 12-year-olds in your house unsupervised...
Routine on the calendar in the matter of Lee versus Green.
Thanks, Bert.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Miss Lee, you purchased a vacation package from the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to your complaint, you could not use the package because it turned out to be non-transferable. You want your money back.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant has a different story, which I will allow him to tell me briefly. Where did you get this vacation package from?
Girlfriend.
Man, a few words. You got it from another girlfriend.
Another girlfriend, yes, ma'am.
Was the plaintiff a girlfriend of yours or just a friend?
Just a friend.
Now, when this girlfriend gave you the package, were you supposed to accompany her, or did she give it to you to go by yourself?
Well, I was supposed to accompany her on the trip, but I decided I didn't want to go.
When had she purchased it for you?
Back in August sometime.
And when did you decide not to use it?
About a week after she gave me the ticket, I decided not to use it.
Why didn't you give it back to her?
She didn't want it back. I just put the ticket up in the closet. She thought I was going to change my mind. She thought I was going to change my mind and go along with her. And I just put the ticket in the closet and just left it there.
So you didn't pay for the ticket?
No, I didn't.
And you didn't tell her right away that you had absolutely no intention of going and you're going to give her back the ticket?
She didn't want the ticket back.
Did you say to her, here's the ticket, I'm not going with you, I'm going to rip...
She did not want the ticket back.
It's not my question. Did you hand her the ticket and say, I'm not using this ticket.
Miss Young lives in New York City. I live in Richmond, Virginia.
Yes.
We spoke on the phone. I told her I was not going on the trip. She told me to keep the ticket. I probably would change my mind, and I told her I wasn't going to change my mind, and I had the ticket.
How did it come about that you sold the ticket to Miss Lee?
I met Mary. She had a beauty shop across the street from my house. Someone introduced me to her, and we were talking. A couple of days later, she came over, and she was in my bed, and I was talking on the phone about the ticket to Aruba. And
who were you talking to?
A friend, another young lady on the phone. And she decided that, she said, well, I'll go. So I didn't say anything. I just kept talking. And when I got off the phone, she wanted to know could she purchase a ticket. And I said, yes. She gave me $200 deposit. She gave me a $200 deposit in cash at that moment. She wrote a statement out. I told her if she wasn't here the next day to purchase a ticket with the balance of the money, she would lose her deposit.
You told her that as she was putting on her stockings, sir?
No, they were off.
So you told her, I'm taking you $200. If you're not here by tomorrow with the balance of the money, you're going to forfeit the $200.
Yes.
Then you would have gotten a free ticket that you paid nothing for, plus her $200. That would have been you spending money on your trip.
I wasn't going on the trip.
Boy, he must have something that I don't see. All right, Miss Lee, let's come to you because I'm getting a little nauseous from him. You bought the ticket. You gave him how much?
This was my second date with Mr. Green. Mr. Green telephone rang. A gentleman called wanting to buy these tickets for $1,000.
Listen to me, Miss Lee. Just answer my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Person of good judgment you are not, because I've listened to him for a total of 5 minutes and I could tell he's not worth very much. Okay? Not a person of good character. So you gave him how much money in total for the ticket?
I gave him a total of $700.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, so you purchased the ticket and he gave you the ticket. Were you able to use the ticket?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
The ticket was not changed into my name, and I did not have a new reservation number for the resort hotel by the time I got in Aruba. I got stopped in the Richmond International Airport as being a thief of stealing his ticket.
Was this ticket including airfare?
Including airfare,
Okay.
round-trip ticket, and hotel.
Okay. Were you able to use the airfare?
No, ma'am.
So you weren't able to use the airfare, so you couldn't get there?
I couldn't get there.
Let me see the ticket that you have, please. You went there with his ticket?
Because yes, ma'am.
You went there with his ticket?
To the airport, yes, ma'am, on October 7th.
She did never go to the airport. When I tried to have the ticket changed, I needed a social security number and a date of birth to change the ticket. She would never give me a social security number and her date of birth so I can have the ticket changed. Yes. And at one point, she was calling me in the middle of the night, cursing, drunk, talking about, I want you to go on a trip with me. Then we'll go on a trip. I said, no, I'm not going on a trip. And if you don't give me the social security number and date of birth, there's nothing I can do.
Why didn't you just have her call the travel agent and give them her date of birth?
She wouldn't do it.
Really?
I gave her the telephone number to the travel agent. She wouldn't do it.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Green. After the night that you sold her this ticket, were you intimate with her again?
No.
Never?
Never.
Yeah. Is there any reason for that?
When I called her, she didn't want to be bothered.
But you did call her again?
Yeah, quite a few times. And
After she bought the ticket?
I didn't bring the tapes.
Just answer my question.
I did not bring...
You're not answering my question. I'm in charge.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Judge.
Go ahead, Judge.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Green, after you spent an intimate night, he was sufficiently dissatisfied with your performance so as not to want to see you again. Did that make you angry, sir?
And later today...
You want to speak. I want you to open your mind, start receiving. Don't be sending out. Receive what I'm saying, because it's something that you don't know.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Mary Lee says ex-boyfriend Willie Green owes for the cost of a bogus vacation package. Mary says she bought the tickets from him after their second date.
So, Mr. Green, let me understand this. She came and gave you the money for the ticket after you spent an intimate night and evidently was sufficiently dissatisfied with your performance so as not to want to see you again. Did that make you angry, sir?
No, it doesn't.
Really? I think, Mr. Green, that you are not out any money, sir, because you didn't pay for this ticket. There are 3 people who were involved in this ticket. Let me understand this. There's Miss Lee, who paid $700 to you for the ticket. There's Miss Young, who bought you the ticket, right?
Right.
And paid whatever she paid for the ticket. Let's say she paid $1,000 for the ticket.
Paid $1,400.
Paid $1,400 for the ticket. So she paid $1,400, Miss Young. She paid $700. You paid Zippo, nada. And you get $700. Is that right? That's what you think is going to happen? Wrong. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
With Mr. Green being a retired police officer, I expect him to have better standards.
She wanted me to go on a trip with her, and I just refused to go on a trip with her.
I just wanted to have a good vacation. I saved up some money, and I wanted a Richmond, Virginia. That's all. And he cheated me, and he's a womanizer.
She's a jilted lover.
It's not accurate. He's the womanizer and the jilted lover. He's out to get whatever he can get from anyone.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Smith versus Smith. Step forward, please.
26-year-old cosmetologist Crystal Smith is suing her aunt, daycare provider Veronica Smith, for the value of a 3-wheel ice cream bike. Veronica says the bike was stolen from her garage. She has a countersuit for unpaid rent and carpet cleaning fees.
Miss Smith, the defendant is your aunt.
Yes.
And it is your claim that she owes you for some sort of a bicycle that you were storing in her house that was stolen.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Me and my auntie, Veronica, we had made up agreement for us to sell candy out of her garage. Me and my husband, we supplied candy, snowballs, any kind of snacks.
So this bicycle was not a bicycle that you ride on, it was...
It was like a 3-wheeler, a tracker.
Have a picture of it?
I have not a photo picture, but I went on the internet and went online and got on their site. I have internet.
What one looks like,
yes.
so that I have some idea of what
yes.
it looks like. Okay, let me
yes.
see it, please.
That's a model like it. The difference in that model.
Okay, so it's a bicycle that has it's a bicycle but has this little thing
with
on
the,
top.
with the cooler system in the back with the
right.
umbrella.
And this is what you kept in her garage?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
She said she took it out of the garage. She forgot about the bike, left it out, and it came up stolen.
When was it stolen?
It was stolen on a Saturday night.
Do you know what happened?
It was stolen on Saturday night, so that particular night that we was in my garage, me and my family, we were playing some cards that night. So the bike was too big, so I didn't like no smoking in my house, so we was out there. And so I put the bike between my garage door and my car. It was in between. So some between Saturday night and Sunday, the bike got stolen. So in the first place, I did not give Krista Smith a permission to bring any bike to my house for any reason.
How long had the
bike had been there for...
Let me finish?
Okay.
How long had the bike been there before it was stolen?
The bike was been there for like 2 months. At the time that I told Krista for about 2 months to come and give her belongings out of my house. I kept saying, get the bike out of my house, get your stuff out of my house.
Did your aunt ever say to you, come and get your stuff out of the garage and house?
We had a get-together over one of my other auntie's house, my Aunt Mary. That night she mentioned, she said, I've been meaning to call you. I wanted to tell you to come and get the rest of the stuff out the garage. I said, I'm going to get a U-Haul, not this weekend, but next weekend, and I'll be over there to get the rest of the stuff that was there, because it was more than just the bike actually in the garage.
What was all your stuff doing in her garage?
We had a store set up in the back of her garage.
Why? Why?
We had started a business, and we had rented out an area that we were leasing. And the lease, the contract had got canceled. So in between time, I had called up my Aunt Veronica, and we had talked on the phone. Before we had actually opened up the store, she said we can come and store my belongings that I had there at her house.
How many times did your aunt tell you to get the stuff out of her garage?
Once.
When? Give me the date.
I don't know the exact date, because it was a weekend. We was over my Aunt Mary's house.
Do you know the date?
July 1st.
And when was the bike stolen?
The bike was stolen in August. August the 12th, 13th, whatever.
Okay.
And that was the agreement was on. They would pay me $75 a week for selling the candy out of the garage. they never did pay me any money but once. They gave me $50 once. So after that, they would start bringing stuff to my house, bicycles, radios, and TVs and stuff. And as I said, hey, wait, hold up. So I couldn't got nowhere to put my stuff in my own house, in my garage and stuff. You guys got to, you know, come get your stuff. They never could come get their stuff out of my garage. And after I tried to get in touch with Crystal about the bike being stolen, for 2 weeks later, that's when she called me. And she called me on the phone, and then they started making threats against me, telling me they're going to burn my house down.
When did you make the agreement with her about renting the space to sell the candy?
Around in June.
And the bike was stolen in August.
Right.
So that they had your permission, at least your niece had your permission, to keep the bike in your garage.
No, Anna. She had only permission to sell candy, not bring bikes and stuff.
I'm not talking about bikes. I'm talking about this bike. This was the one that was stolen, right?
Right, that's what I was
So
stolen.
you knew that this was the one she was going to sell the candy from.
But I didn't know that she was going to, she didn't ask me to bring no bikes or anything down to my house.
Ms. Smith, you're not paying attention to me. Maybe you're not following me. The law says that if you allow someone to store something in your garage, you want to speak. I want you to open your mind, start receiving. Don't be sending out. Receive what I'm saying, because it's something that you don't know. If you say to her, you can sell candy out of my garage and keep this in my garage, or even if you don't have an agreement with her for money, but you say, all right, you want to store it in my garage? I'll let you store it in my garage. And then at some point you say, listen, you got to come get your stuff out. You are still in a position where you have to exercise some ordinary care over her property. But what you did was you put this bike outside and then forgot about it. But for the fact that you brought it outside and forgot to bring it inside, it would have been inside. There was nothing else taken from the garage, right?
No.
So this, you're responsible for.
But I did not give her permission to bring any bikes or anything down to my house.
Yes, you did, because you just told me, and you have a counterclaim. In addition to that, the reason I know that you did, because you have a counterclaim for rent.
I have a counterclaim for...
Shh. You're not receiving. You have a counterclaim for rent, and in your counterclaim, you said you had an agreement with your niece to sell candy out of your garage, and that they were going to pay you $75 a week starting June 1st.
Yes.
You also said that they damaged your carpet.
Right.
I have something to add.
When?
The mess was not made because we were not on carpet. The carpet is only upstairs in the dining room. In the basement is the concrete flooring. In the garage, it's the same thing.
Who purchased this candy wagon? Who purchased
Me and my husband went together and purchased.
Let me see when this piece of equipment was purchased.
Here's the receipts.
You paid $2,500 for this thing?
Yes.
Now you have a store. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When did you stop selling candy?
I'll say the week of the 4th of July.
So why didn't you get the bike out of her house until August?
Officially, we were still open for business. She did not tell us to...
That's not what I asked you. Why didn't you get the bike out when you stopped using it for business?
The week of the 4th, we could not sell any candy out of her premises because she said she was going to be out of town and we could not be there.
Fine, so that's out of town. When did she come back into town?
That following week. She was only...
Why didn't you start to sell your candy again?
Relocated with a new place of business.
So why didn't you get the bike out of her garage?
Because the candy and the bike and everything that we own were still stored in the garage as well.
How much did you pay her for the storage?
The storage was supposed to be $50.
How much did you pay her for the storage?
We did not have a storage fee set up. All we had set up was a weekly fee for the candy.
How much did you pay her?
The agreement was $50 a week. It was not $75 a week.
Fine. How much did you pay her?
I paid her $50.
You didn't pay for 3 weeks in June, nothing in July, and nothing till
the whole 2 months that we were there, we didn't sell candy the whole 2 months.
Why should she take care of your stuff? She told you to move your stuff in July.
The bike got stolen between the 27th of July and the first week of August?
When was the bike stolen?
About 20. August 20.
2 seconds ago, you told me it was the 15th.
It was stolen in August. It was stolen in August.
It was stolen the last week of July, the first week of August.
Show me. How do you know?
The 23rd of August is my brother's birthday.
Oh, please, give me a break. Listen, You left this thing here. It was her fault. It was her fault that this got stolen because she took it and she put it outside and she forgot to bring it back. You show a bill for $2,500.
Yes.
You expect her to pay you $2,500 for this?
I have a receipt.
No way in this earth is she going to pay you $2,500. You took advantage of her. You took advantage of her good nature. You were storing your stuff there. She had to, in order to accommodate herself and her friends playing cards, move your stuff around. She told you to move it. You said, I don't have to move it. I'll move it when I get good and ready.
No, I did not.
Well, you did not. I'm going to tell you something. She has some responsibility. But she has this much responsibility, and you have this much responsibility. She has $200 worth responsibility. You have the rest. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. Now, let's get to your carpet cleaning. Forget it. Let's get to your rent. Forget it. Do you understand? Forget it. Don't do any more favors, and don't let any more of your relatives store stuff in your property, because ultimately, if something happens, they're going to come looking for you for money. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's case number 176 on the calendar in the matter of Gifford versus Ward. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Gifford, the defendant is your daughter.
Correct.
And it is your claim that you made a loan to her. The loan was to pay off certain fines that she had, criminal fines, driving while under the influence of alcohol.
Correct, yes.
And she hasn't paid you back.
No, she has not.
Your daughter says that you volunteered to pay these fines for her, that at the time you paid the fines, you knew she was unable to pay you back, and there was never any agreement to reimburse you for the money that you spent for the fines. And that the real reason that you are here is because of a complaint that she filed against you with Child Protective Services, which resulted in you no longer having visitation with her child.
Correct.
Who is this?
My wife, ex-wife. We're together still.
This is your wife, your ex-wife?
Ex-wife, and we're still together, Your Honor.
Still together?
Yes.
Just my own curiosity. Why are you still together if it's your ex-wife?
Oh, her father passed away, and then I was one of the pallbearers, and at that point in time, we...
Sort of got back together again?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been married?
We were married for 7 years.
And how long have you been divorced?
A little over 2, and we've been back together now for another year.
Okay. Good. Who is this?
This is my boyfriend, Henry.
Is Henry the father of your child?
No, he is not.
Before we get into this, tell me about your child. You have one child, a boy?
Yes.
How old is he?
7.
Who does he live with?
With his father.
How long has he lived with his father?
He's lived with his father since October.
His father had full custody?
It's joint custody.
He lives with his father?
Well, yeah, he has full custody of him. But
he has full custody
yes.
of him? Do you visit with him?
Yes.
Supervised or unsupervised?
Unsupervised.
When were you given unsupervised visitation?
The last court appearance in June.
Prior to June, you had supervised visits?
Correct.
And who supervised the visits?
My father was supervising the visits.
So that your son had visitation with his grandfather and you were permitted to see him at your father's house?
Yes.
Is your problem alcohol, drug addiction, a combination thereof, individual? What's the problem?
Yes, it was a combination of both.
And how long has your son been living full-time with his father?
Since October.
Prior to that, were you living together with his father?
No. We weren't together since I was pregnant. 7 years now we haven't been together.
Prior to October, you had full custody of him?
Yes.
Was he ever in foster care?
No.
Was he ever removed from your home?
No.
Did your father ever have custody of him?
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gifford, tell me about this loan.
Okay, this loan was regarding a DUI that she had back in 2000. She had a passenger in the car. She was under the influence of narcotics and alcohol. She hit a tree. CHP was dispatched. She went to jail. She called me up, and I said, best thing for her to do is stay in jail. She'll be arraigned, because I feel that due punishment should be served. Then at that long period of time, she was still involved with methamphetamines. Children were in and out of homes. We were paying
Which children?
Rent.
That's just...
Both Michael and Brittany.
I thought there was only one.
No.
Where is your daughter?
With me.
How old is Brittany?
4.
And she's always been with you?
I just got it back recently.
From where?
From her grandma, my ex-mother-in-law.
How long had she had custody?
She doesn't have custody.
9 months.
How long had she had custody?
She lived there since October, too.
Through CPS.
No, it was voluntarily.
Okay. So there were these fines dating back to 2002.
Correct.
Go ahead.
When she was going through detox and outreach program.
When was that?
That was in October. She was checked in. She was released to us in basically December, because they did not offer the counseling or some of the amenities that were ordered by the court. So they released her to myself and Sherry. At that point in time, I got her through counseling through the state where I work, got her set up so I would be able to take her to and from her toxicology test and provide what she needed through the courts, and also supervise visitations. That way, both the brother and sister were able to see each other at that point in time because they were separated, and she would be able to spend time with her children.
Okay, I get to the loan.
She approached me in November. She goes, "Dad, I have a DUI that I have never paid on since 2000. Could you help me get my driver's license back and get back on my feet?" I said, "I expect to be paid back." So I went ahead, I paid them off. When I finally came back home, I went ahead and drafted up the exact amount she owed, stuck a payment plan together, and then she refused to pay me.
Now, how much were the fines that you actually paid?
Total amount would be $2,469.
And what happened when you presented her with this loan agreement?
At that point in time, she said, "I will pay you back $150. She went ahead and only paid $148 in cash.
When did she pay you the $148 in cash?
March of 2004.
And under what circumstances did she pay the $148 in March?
She came up to me and she says, "Dad, I know I owe you the money. I want to pay you the $150. And then I counted out and I said, "Katie, this is $148. She goes, "I'll try to get the rest of the money to you later when I get paid again."
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Ward.
He made me make arrangement with the courts to start my DUI so I could start my classes. I told him I do not want him to come because I know he will try to attack me for something in the future. He said, "No, I will take you there. We will get this settled so you can have a fresh start on your feet." We didn't speak the whole way there. We were in court. I was standing there talking to the judge, and he asked to stand up himself. The judge asked him who he was. He told him, he said, "What is your reasons of being here?" And he said, "I'm here to pay off her fine." So the judge said, okay, gave us the receipt, went to the window,
Ms.
and
Ward,
paid it.
You had fines, correct?
Yes, correct.
What did you intend to do with the fines?
I was going to have a payment plan.
Good. With whom were you going to have a payment plan?
With the courts.
Over what period of time were you going to pay them?
I was going to pay it every month.
You were already late in paying the fines, right?
3 years.
Yes.
You were already late?
Yes.
So it was your intention to ask the judge to give you an opportunity, rather than sending you to jail, to start paying the fines off on a monthly basis.
Correct.
And what did you think was going to happen to you if, after not paying for 3 years, you made a plan with the judge and you said, "Don't put me in jail now. I'm going to pay you every month." And what do you think was going to happen if you didn't pay him?
I probably would have had a warrant for my arrest.
You would have gone back to jail.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have Henry, and I assume you think Henry is going to be in your life for a while. And I'm suggesting to you, if you take a look over at Henry, in a very short period of time, you'll forget what he looks like.
And later today,
she hung up these shooting targets after Jose was unwelcomed into the house surrounding the living room area where I was sleeping.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kurt Gifford says his daughter, Catherine Ward, owes for an unpaid loan for DUI fines. Kirk says his daughter has problems with drugs and alcohol.
Ms. Ward, what I'm asking you is, if you intended to pay off your fines, which were your fines, why didn't you pay your father?
Because he told me not to worry about it.
No, that's not what he's saying at all.
Of course that's not what he's saying. He's mad at me for all this other stuff.
You gave him $148 in March of 2004.
Because he was kicking me out and he was mad at me over something, so I got a paycheck and he said, "You owe me money." I said, "Here, take my paycheck."
Miss Ward, what I'm asking you is, why didn't you start giving him back the money immediately, just as you were planning to do to the court? It's your fine, not his.
I agree.
Good. There we go. Now you're getting to be a grown-up. Now, why didn't you pay your father every month? Because he fronted the money.
Because he asked me to start with a clean start and get up on my feet. He told me to start doing everything right and stay straight.
Well, did you?
Yes, I have been.
Really?
Yes.
Where are you working?
I work at Home Depot.
And are you a full-time employee?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been a full-time employee?
Since March.
Good. And what does your boyfriend do?
He's a construction worker.
And do you live together?
Yes, we do.
So you have plenty of money to pay your fines?
Yes.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Regarding my grandson and my court visitation, basically that's pending due to the fact that I temporarily removed myself, but I'm still a joiner to the case in order for he can seek psychiatric counseling, because there is some trauma due to the fact of what's gone on with Katie, and that's why she brought it up, saying that I was upset because I definitely wanted to make sure both my granddaughter and my grandson do get the psychiatric counseling they do need from over the years of drug abuse.
That's not correct. There's not over years of drug abuse.
Of course it was.
No, there hasn't.
Of course it was. Of course it was. What do you think, it was 2 weeks? I mean, we've been around for a long time.
I understand that, but
we've been around for a long time.
It's not like
2
I've
weeks,
been doing
it's not
it for
3
years.
weeks, it's not 4 weeks, it's not 6 months, it's not a year.
It was 6 months of a period.
She was pregnant while she was in rehab, while she was still under the influence of methamphetamine.
Listen, Miss Ward. That's not correct. Listen, Miss Ward, I'm glad that you seem to have gotten yourself back on track. That's wonderful. And you have a job. You've had a job for a while. The boyfriend. You have children?
No.
Why did you have to think about that?
I have children, but they're not with me.
That's not what I asked you, sir. Over there. Your name?
My name's Henry. Henry Twilling.
Miss Twilling, when I ask you if you have children, the answer is, I have children.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
Where do they live?
They live in South Dakota with their maternal relatives.
Where's their mother?
I haven't seen her for many years.
Why don't they live with you?
I'm just getting back on my feet.
From what?
Long period of drug use.
He has a parole officer. He was convicted and incarcerated in the penitentiary.
For?
For drugs.
And where did the two of you meet?
We met at a meeting.
Mr. Gifford, you understand that the Supreme Court recently issued a ruling that I don't agree with, not surprisingly. And that ruling said that grandparents have no right to visit with their grandchildren.
You're right.
You're aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
I think that that ruling was short-sighted, because I think that sometimes you have to look on a case-by-case basis. And when you've had a grandparent that, and I don't know if that's true in your case, but when you have a grandparent who has been, let us say, a primary caretaker of children, it's unfair for a biological parent to say, well, I'm not going to let him see him anymore because I don't get along with him. Because very often you have parents like this whose primary thought is not the overall best interests of their children, because everything is a parent. Dogs have parents, cats have parents, fish have parents, ants have parents. Just because you're a parent doesn't necessarily mean you're a good parent or a caring parent. All I can tell you is this, Miss Ward. Do your 2 children have the same father?
No, they don't.
And this man isn't the father of either of your 2 children?
No.
And I assume that when you had a baby with your son's father, you intended for him to be in your life for a while. And I assume that when you had a child with your daughter's father, that you intended for him to be in your life for a while. And now you have Henry. And I assume you think Henry is going to be in your life for a while. And I'm suggesting to you, if you take a look over at Henry, in a very short period of time, you'll forget what he looks like. Now, I'm telling you that you have a responsibility to see to it that your 2 children have whatever constants in their life as possible. And if one of those constants in their lives have been their grandfather, you're not supposed to allow immature judgments to impede that and to impair that if it's not in your children's best interest. Do I make myself clear? Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,321. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm still a joiner to the case to oversee that my grandchildren do get a fair shake in life.
There's always been strain.
I don't want them to be raised up in the same environment and have them in and out of jail.
He doesn't even have a relationship with his own mother, so.
I wish this on no one.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Andrews versus Zimmerman. Step forward, please.
Belly dancing instructor Hillary Andrews is suing her former roommate, yoga instructor Candy Zimmerman, for the return of her clothes and her shoes. Candy is countersuing for unpaid rent and a security deposit.
Miss Andrews, according to what I read, the defendant was a friend of yours. Came a time when you and your boyfriend were in some difficulty, and Miss Zimmerman offered you a place to stay. And then shortly after you moved in, she threw the boyfriend out. Is this the boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
She threw the boyfriend out, and you left a couple of weeks after that. And it is your claim that she kept $2,000 worth of your property. Ms. Zimmerman says the only thing she has left of your property is some old shoes, and I assume that this is the visual aid today of the old shoes. And, I don't know, nothing else of any value.
A lamp.
A lamp. That's all she has of yours. She is counterclaiming. She says you owe her $2,500 for security deposit that she was supposed to put down on this room that you had, and also for rent when you were there. When did you move into her house?
On April 7th, 2004.
And how long did you stay?
Until May 5th, 2004.
And what property did you leave there?
Basically, it's a bunch of shoes, up to like 20 pairs of shoes.
Shoes are
Some
here.
of them are here. Some of them I don't see. There's
Okay,
another
shoes.
hanging item like that would hold more.
What else?
The lamp, which was like a $40 lamp, a full-length mirror, a broom. Also, when I moved in, I was supposed to get a room. I did not get a room. I had to stay in the living room on my own futon because the room I was promised was filled with boxes to the ceiling. I also wanted to mention that she hung up these shooting targets after Jose was unwelcomed into the house surrounding the living room area where I was sleeping for the rest of the day.
Okay, so she's not happy. She wasn't happy with you. Miss Andrews, why do you think that after she was so nice to you that she all of a sudden turned on you?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Well, maybe I should ask her. Why did you turn on her?
Basically...
Not basically, just tell me why you turned.
She's a spoiled brat. I heard the way she spoke to her welfare caseworker, the way she spoke to her insurance agent. She humiliates people on the phone when she doesn't get her way. She treated me badly, told me how to cook in my own house, completely defended the boyfriend, saying, oh, it's not his fault he's mean, he's on cocaine. And, you know, it's unacceptable.
Now, as far as your counterclaim is concerned, I don't quite understand that, Miss Zimmerman, because you told me in your answer that you took Miss Andrews and her boyfriend in because they were going through hard times.
Yeah, she said...
Just a second.
Okay.
I don't care what she said. How was she supposed to give you $1,200 or $1,500 in a security deposit if she had hard times?
She said she couldn't afford it, but she could borrow money from her boyfriend and her father.
All right, so you know what security deposit is for?
For, like, if they trash your house, then you
But they didn't trash your house.
Yes, they did.
Oh, well, you didn't put anything about that in your answer about trashing the house.
They broke a window and supposedly cleaned the antique hood over my stove, etched scratches all over it.
Show me the bill where you paid to have those two things
Okay,
repaired.
I don't have a bill because I can't afford it.
So then.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. What else? So you don't get security deposit?
Yes, ma'am. She's saying that she never agreed to pay rent, and I have evidence here. The only rent she ever paid me, a $50 check. So this is my evidence, is the check that she paid.
Can I see that, please? Your evidence for what?
That she agreed to pay rent, and she just said she didn't agree to pay any rent.
Well, here we have it that you cashed on May the 5th.
No, ma'am, I didn't cash it.
Oh, you didn't cash it?
No, ma'am.
Utilities, phone, and rent.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you should cash it.
Yeah, oh, I'm gonna now.
Good. Good, because it's all the money you're going to get. Give her shoes, please, Bert, okay?
Sure, no problem.
And don't...
The matter of Lede versus Holt. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
All right, I have a complaint and a cross-complaint. And basically, you two people lived together for 5 years. You have a child together. You moved out. You claim that the defendant either destroyed or took some of your property. He says when you moved out, you took his property. That's where we're at, right?
Yes.
Okay. When did you start to live together?
We started in 96, if I'm not mistaken.
And have you been together continuously since 96?
Most of the time, yes. It was more, after a while, breakup and separation and coming back.
And how old is your child?
She's 4.
Is there any reason why you didn't get married?
Yes, lots of reasons. Mr. Holt couldn't hold down a job for no more than 2 weeks. He just had one previously for a year and maybe 3-4 months, and he lost that one. The other reasons were Mr. Holt also a lot of times would smoke marijuana. I didn't like that too much, and he'll stop. I'll take him back and start back up. My mistake. Yes. And another thing was Mr. Holt's violent attitude. We had one incident already in 97 for domestic violence, and I took him back for, I know, for many reasons. No, I know, it's a sad story.
But you lived together for 5.5 years.
Yes.
And during that 5.5 years, I assume you were employed?
Yes, I was.
Continuously?
Continuously.
And you were employed sporadically?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
And who watched the baby when the baby was born?
I did.
While you were working?
No. We had a child care that I was paying for when Mr. Hope would go for his minimum wage job, and then he'll come home and say he's sick. And so the next day, the job wouldn't take him back because he either got sick, complained of a stomach ache or something. So that was on and off. And then when he was home, he would watch her. But I will pay for a sitter because I wanted him to try to get out there and find a job.
Why do you have such trouble keeping a job, Mr.
Your Honor, we got together in 1996. 1997, I had an injury to where I was disabled for a couple years.
What was the nature of your disability?
Well, me and her got into it because she went to go visit her ex-boyfriend. That's the reason why the domestic violence even occurred.
What was the nature of your disability?
I was shot by LAPD. Me and her went through a little confrontation. LAPD came up and they shot me.
Where did they shoot you?
In my leg.
What?
Okay. The reason why he didn't get shot for that, he got shot because he was jumping on me. And the neighbor saw me. He dragged me, and the neighbor called the police. So he got shot for domestic violence and also for having a weapon in your hand.
What kind of weapon?
A knife.
So he was dragging you and he had a knife in his hand?
Yes.
So they disabled him by shooting him in the leg?
Yes.
You were real lucky.
Can I, Your Honor?
Let it rain. Shh. All right. Let's move on. You finally decided, Ms. Leday, that you had had enough.
Yes.
And you moved out.
Yes.
Okay. What is it that you claim that the defendant either took or destroyed?
Well, previously I had put him out in July. Mr. Hope begged to come back because he was on a lease and he was going to bring the police. So to keep everything down, and because I have kids, I didn't want the police at my house and everything being interrupted. I let Mr. Hope back in. We agreed November that we were going to separate it after the lease was going to be final, and I was going on with my life. He was going on with his. Mr. Hope, meanwhile, the beginning of September up to now, Mr. Hope decided I guess he was going to find another place to lay his head and start having an affair on me. So when I found out about the affair, I was upset, of course, and I was angry. So I went home to pack as much stuff as I could. And I left it where Mr. Holt could come back in to get his own belongings.
What do you claim that he either took or destroyed?
He destroyed my whole household, my furniture, my bedroom set. I have photos. I have a police report.
Let me see, please. Was he arrested for this vandalism?
They haven't. They don't know where the case is right now. I went to the police department. They just have it on it because they don't have an address. Or.
So you weren't arrested?
No, ma'am.
You have the receipts for this furniture that you purchased?
Yes, I do.
You made quite a mess here, Mr. Holt.
The only thing that I did was color the couches with ice cone syrup.
What'd you do that for? Well,
why'd I do that? Because she took everything of mine, and everything in the house, she did not buy by herself. It accumulated with us for the last 5 years. None of that stuff.
I'm going to get there.
All right.
I mean, I see what you did to these sofas.
Yes,
she
that I
says
did.
she bought these sofas in February of 2001, so they were relatively new. Did you buy the furniture, or did she?
She bought the couches. Yes, she did.
So that's the thing that you decided to destroy, the thing that she had bought.
Well,
what?
She took everything of mine. When I came in that house, everything was cleared. Everything, the TVs, the DVD player, the VCR, my PlayStation 2, a car that I helped accumulate with her, all my videotapes that I've been collecting with me and my daughter for over the past years. She took everything of mine. See, I'm not the type of person that would go to court.
Mr. Holt, let me ask you a question, sir. Did you file tax returns last year?
Yes, I did.
How much did you earn on your tax returns last year?
Yeah, I made about
Not about filed tax returns last year.
About 1823 for
What's
this
1823? 18.
About 23,000.
And how much did you report on your tax returns that you made the year before last?
About 14, 15.
Now, did you file tax returns last year?
Yes, I did.
How much did you earn on your tax returns last year?
My total earnings were 52.
52,000.
Yes.
So it's clear who was maintaining the household. Because on what you earn, sir, you can hardly support yourself.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sylvia Leday says when she confronted ex-boyfriend Troy Holt about him cheating, he doused her couches with snow cone syrup.
Okay. Mr. Holt, do you have other children other than this child?
Yes, I do.
Where are your other children?
One's with her, and the other one's with her mother.
One child is with her mother. Do you pay child support for that
Yes,
child?
I do.
How much do you pay in child support?
Well, before she took me to the DA, and they came down with a price, I was paying her about $100 every 2 weeks.
So out of this $20-some-odd thousand, you were paying child support in the amount of $200 a month or $2,400 a year. So let me hear how you bought this television set and this DVD player and the PlayStation and all that other stuff that you claim that she stole that was yours.
Well, I mean, I get 2 tapes a month. I got a proof right here that I've been going to this guy for years, that I've been buying videotapes from him for years.
What's the rent on the place where you live?
$1,265 with our water and trash. It's come to $1,300.
Who paid the rent?
I paid the rent.
Just a minute. Did you have a joint account?
No, we didn't.
Your Honor, she didn't pay everything at that house. I gave out of each paycheck from $500 to $550 to $600 every single 2 weeks.
That's impossible, sir, on your earnings.
I was bringing home $1,400, $1,500 a month. So how is that impossible? I would barely have money for myself. I would ask her, where's the groceries at?
Grow up.
You grow up.
Okay, you have to understand, Ms. Leday, when people live together, there is no way that a court is going to be able to, or wants to, make everybody whole.
Right.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
You chose not to get married. You said he's got a lot of impediments to marriage, but not a lot of impediments to living with him and having a child with him. There are no statutes like there are when you're married. You're married, everything is community property in some states, or it's depending upon who purchased it. When you live together for 5.5 years, no court is going to go back over history to decide whose tape was that and who made the mess here and who broke that dish and who broke that picture frame. It's just not going to happen unless there's a specific act of vandalism. Clearly, according to the police report, there were specific acts of vandalism. You have bills for the sofas that you bought, and they were, in fact, not purchased in February of '01, but according to this bill, they were purchased in August of 2000.
Yes.
All right, so you were mistaken. They weren't purchased just a few months ago.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Doesn't make any difference.
Okay, I'm
You
sorry.
paid, not $1,700 as you quoted in the police report, but you paid for them a total of $1,432. That you're going to get back from Mr. Holt because he purposefully destroyed them, making them impossible for anybody to use. The police officer also indicates that the bedroom furniture was totally destroyed because he took the drawers out of the furniture, threw them around, making them incapable of being put back. Now, you only paid how much for that?
I paid $600, but it was in '99. It was a while.
Do you have a bill?
I just have a letter from her because it was from a friend.
No, I'm not taking this letter from
Your
a
Honor.
friend.
Okay.
What?
That she bought from a lady in Compton for $175
I'm not
because she
dealing
was
with
trying
that.
The
I'm not
drawers
dealing
were
with that.
already out.
I'm not dealing with
Okay.
it. Fine. Can't destroy property. It's not nice. Now, you have any bills for the TV, VCR, et
Do
cetera?
I? No.
Yeah,
She
well, then I-
took everything out of the
Then
drawers.
I can't help you.
But
She may have
I
taken-
do have bills of what she did take and how much it accumulated to.
I'm going to take a look at them, sir.
Okay.
You need a bill. And if she took everything, then you go back to the store where you bought the TV or where you bought the VCR, and you say, I lost my bill. Get me a duplicate bill, please. Did you do that?
No, I just went and got these tapes. They're just the tapes that I accumulated over the years. It was mine and my daughter's when it was our special moment together.
Do you still have visitation with your daughter?
No, I got to take her to court to get visitations.
All right. Let me just see his list so he feels as if I've looked at it.
May I say something?
Sure.
Yana? The tapes that he's speaking about are Dragon Ball Z cartoon tapes. Mr. Holt and I purchased those tapes together because our daughter enjoys those tapes. Mr. Holt told me when he was crying to me 2 weeks after his little affair, he called me 2 weeks telling me that he was sorry and that he still loved me, and whatever I do, keep the Dragon Ball Z tapes for Taylor and to just make sure that I keep the collection up. I told him, I said, okay, fine. I can do that with no problem. The TV...
I'm not dealing with the TV.
Okay, we're out for the TV.
Forget the TV, forget the VCR. My question is, do you have the tape?
I sure do.
I want you to do me this favor.
Okay.
No, you can do me a favor. We'll put it in an order.
Okay.
I want you to box up the tapes.
Okay.
In really good condition.
I will.
And give them back to him.
Okay.
Because if he eventually gets visitation with the child, then he'll be able to watch them with her. And if he doesn't, he can sit and watch them himself. Okay. Go ahead.
I've been collecting these tapes and a lot of this stuff for a long time. Now, these tapes I put on shelves. They're in like mint condition. I collect these tapes because they add up to pictures. She's the type of person that will let everybody just take them, bend them up, wreck them up.
You're getting your tapes back.
Messed
She's
up?
not paying for them. There's no proof that they're messed up, sir.
When she hands them to me, it will be.
I didn't hear what he said. Did you hear what he said? So I'm not interested in what he said. There's no proof that they're messed up, sir. She doesn't appear to be the kind of woman that if her daughter wanted to watch a tape, what she would do is she would purposefully damage it so her daughter couldn't watch it. Right. So you're going to get your tapes back within 5 days, and you owe $1,432 for the couch. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Make sure a woman doesn't help you out with nothing. You do it all on your own.
Nobody likes him except for the Happy Meal that he have right now. He traded in filet mignon and lobster for a Happy Meal, and he has to be the toy, so that's what you get.
And now the next case.
All parties on Bennett versus Handel. Step forward, please.
30-year-old horticulturist Lisa Bennett is suing her ex-boyfriend, 28-year-old photographer John Handel, for a series of unpaid loans and damage to her home.
Ms. Bennett, according to your complaint, you met the defendant, began dating, he lost his job, you lent him some money, broke up, now you want it back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defendant says that he acknowledges that he owes you some money, but 1/3 of what you are claiming. So, when did you meet him? When did you start to make these loans, and for what?
He was my next door neighbor. We met about a year prior to us dating, and about a month after we had dated, he didn't have any money because he lost his job. He refused to go to work. He would lie to his boss and said...
Don't tell me, he lost his job.
He lost his job, and he didn't have money to cover the December bills. So I took his sob story, and I paid for all of the bills for the month of December. In January, he didn't have any money to cover the month of January either, so I agreed to let him move in with me on the 15th. He did give me $250 for rent, and that was about it. And he lived with me for a month and a half before I finally was at my wit's ends with him and kicked him out.
How much were the bills that you paid for him in the month of December?
December, the rent was $595 times 28% interest for 6 months.
Just give me $595.
$595 in rent and $422.20 in other things like car insurance and his electric, cable, things like that.
Then he moved in with you?
Yes.
Where does the other money come from?
The first thing is he spilled chlorophyll on my beige carpet in my spare bedroom. So I feel that...
When did he spill this on your carpet?
About 2 weeks after he moved in. And he promised me that he would pay to have the carpet cleaned.
Did you have it cleaned?
Yes, I did.
How much was it to have it cleaned?
$91.50.
Did you promise to have the carpet cleaned?
Yes.
What's next?
He also put a hole in the wall when he was moving out that he needs to...
Did you put a hole in the wall?
I was disassembling my computer desk. A piece had fallen over and punched a hole about this size in the wall, and I did offer to pay for that repair.
And what is that repair?
That was at $25.
What's next?
That's it, minus the interest from my credit card debt.
The bills alone that you paid for him come to $1,133.50. Where do you get $3,000 from?
Because I have a 6-month interest fee on the December charges that I did for him. The interest is mounting, and I feel that he should pay that because he did put those on my credit cards knowing that he was going to have to pay the interest as well.
No, you never told me that he agreed to pay interest.
He knew that there was going to be interest because I put them on my credit cards.
We're still not up to $3,000, Miss Bennett.
He also ran up my phone bill while he was living there. He did not pay any expenses. I paid for his food. I paid for everything when he was living there for a month and a half.
So?
Well, I think that he should pay for at least part of the phone bill that he ran up.
Did you have that as an agreement with him?
He was supposed to pay me some money back as soon as he got a job, which he never did.
So he never did.
Your Honor, there was some conversation between Lisa and I stating that of what I was willing to give her. At the time I had lost my job, at that time she offered for me to come live with her. There was no, you owe me, after this is over or till you get back on your feet.
No, listen to me, sir. She feels as if you should pay her for the time that you were living there some of the expenses. But there was never that agreement. She feels as if it would be right. Well, we don't deal with that in court. We deal with what contracts are made. Contracts are made either verbally or...
I have contracts here, Your Honor.
Contracts from what?
One from my witness who couldn't make it.
Forget it. I'm not interested. Take it, throw it in the garbage. Next.
It's another witness statement.
Take it and throw it in the garbage. What else?
I have a check here that I had given her.
You gave her a check for how much?
$200.
Was that for expenses while you were living there?
Yes, just for, that's the only money I could come across at the time I was unemployed.
Fine, so you still owe her $1,133.50, right?
Okay.
Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
McMahon versus McMahon. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. McMahon, how long have you and the defendant been married?
11 years before separation.
Altogether, how many years have you been married?
20 years.
And how long has it been since the two of you lived together?
9.
You have children?
Yes.
How many children?
1.
How old is that child?
He's 17.
Your complaint says that your wife flooded your boat while she was out on the lake. Your boat was out on the lake, and she decided to sort of vandalize your boat while she was in her wave runner. That's what the case is about, that she seized the motor because she flooded the boat, and you want her to pay for the damage to the boat. But I have a few questions before I get there. When I read in your complaint that you and the defendant were separated for almost 10 years, I wondered why two people, if they're separated for almost 10 years, are not divorced.
Well, it was filed in 96, and...
Who filed for divorce in 1996?
I did.
Okay.
So it's gone on for mostly assets, whose is what it's worth. It's gone to mediation, status conference hearings year after year. We're presently mediation. They should have the following report. Should be ended.
Are you a
this
very
month.
rich man?
No, ma'am.
Are you a very rich woman?
No.
Well, then what are we arguing about?
I don't know.
What are we arguing about?
Well, we had quite a bit of assets.
Like what?
We had a business together. We had been together for 20 years, so...
No, you haven't been together for 20 years. You've been together 11 years.
Well, we lived together for a few years before, but we had vehicles and a lot of assets through our business.
Miss McMahon, how old are you?
I'm 48.
So that at the time that you and your husband separated, you were 39 years old. Is that right? A young woman. And you want a divorce?
Yes.
How old are you?
50.
You have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Is that this lady?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been together?
4 years now.
You have a boyfriend?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been together?
About a year.
It's time.
Yes, ma'am.
I know. You two people are taking that very precious window. If you think of it this way, you're close to 50. For almost 20% of your life, you've been feuding. I mean, if you think about it. If you think about the fact that you don't grow up really until you're 20, and you're almost 50, that means for almost a third of your life, you've been feuding. You, a little less than that. Is that ridiculous? Ridiculous! Do you have lawyers?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a lawyer?
Not anymore, because I've spent so much money on attorneys.
Right! Crazy people. All right. Tell me about this flooding of your boat.
Well, as in the police report, we spend a year every year at the river for 10 days.
Who does?
My girlfriend and myself. So on the second day of our vacation, I went for a boat ride in the morning, and the boat wasn't running right, so I was adjusting the idle. The next thing I know, a wall of water hits me, almost knocks me out of the boat, and the engine locks up.
And that was your wife?
Yes.
And did you see how she sprayed your boat and you with a wall of water?
Well, at the time I didn't see it because I was working on the engine, but when everything cleared and settled down, I looked, and there she was on the wave runner with her soon-to-be daughter-in-law. And I yelled at her, I said, "You idiot, you have no idea what you've just done." And she says, "He happens at the river," and drove off.
Nice.
Very nice.
And your boat was damaged?
Very much so, yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, after the bilge pumps came on, we had to bail the water out to keep it from sinking because it's been swamped before by bigger boats and it sank, so she knew what she was doing. We put it on the trailer. We had to walk on the trailer because the engine didn't run.
You have a picture of this boat?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see it, please? While I'm looking at it, how big is this river?
It's 17 miles long from dam to dam.
So it's a big river.
Yes, Colorado
You just
River.
happened to find yourself in the same place at the same time?
No, the mediator explained to us that he let her know we were going on vacation and weren't available for a court appearance. And I think it was intentional that she was there at the same time we were.
Oh, so you had a court appearance?
Yes, and we canceled because of our vacation and our work schedules. We went to the river and we missed the court date, and obviously he told her that where we were going to be.
How long in advance was this court date scheduled?
Probably 60 days.
So 2 months?
Yeah.
And you had to pick that time to go on vacation? Don't you want to get this whole process over with?
Oh, I'd love to.
So why'd you go on vacation when you had a court appearance?
Well, because we weren't ready for the status conference hearing. The mediator wasn't ready, wasn't done with his
like
report.
what? What did you need?
I needed him to finish his report, and he couldn't finish
Finish
it in
his
that
report
time.
about what?
About the business assets. We had an auto repair business that lasted a whole year and a half, and Mrs. McMahon thinks it's worth millions of dollars.
And did you sell it?
No. Just closed
Well,
the
what do you
doors
think
on it.
happened to the business?
He actually moved the business to his residence.
Yeah.
In Carlsbad from our business in Oceanside. The lot that we had there was over an acre lot, so he had plenty of room to do auto repairs.
You're not talking about, you know, Boeing.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He sued me for paternity on our son.
Oh, you thought that it might not be your child?
Biologically, he's not my child. No.
Oh, my goodness, how you people screwed up your lives. I just can't believe it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Steve McMahon says his estranged wife, Cheryl McMahon, flooded his boat, nearly sinking it. Cheryl says the incident was instigated by Steve's anger.
Madam, you're talking about, at best, a little mom-and-pop operation out of his house. Is that what you are holding hope of getting millions of dollars out of?
No. What I hope to is to get a loan paid off that Mr. McMahon made for this business. That was my hopes.
Okay, and is it a loan that you're responsible for?
Both of us are responsible for it.
Have you been paying it?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been paying it?
Yes, I paid up to 97 or 98.
Well, that's a long time ago. Who's been paying it since 97?
I don't know.
I have.
You have?
Yes.
How much?
It's like $19,000 I've paid against it.
Since 1997?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Well, the loan was only for $20,000, and we paid on it for almost 2 years before that. So I.
Yeah, but you know that could have been interest. You know, now she says
No, there was
she
no
said,
interest. It was
shh. Listen to me. What she says is she just wants to be absolved of at least half of this debt.
May I respond?
Yeah, sure.
This is why we're going through all these years of court proceedings, because all the receipts and checks and canceled, everything we present in the matter of this loan is fraudulent. So it goes on.
Just one
and
second.
on.
You have $19,000 that she said she's paid so far. Anything else owing on the loan?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
I think it's about $7,000 or $8,000 right now.
What is that, just interest?
It was a 15-year loan, and our payments were $225 a month.
Okay, so the first couple of years you paid Mr. McMahon, forget it. You know, I mean, that's ancient history. Okay? There's this big piece left. Why don't you just cut it in half and say this was a marital debt, over, finished. Pay it, and goodbye. Did you pay a lawyer more than $15,000 over the last 9 years?
Actually, I couldn't answer that question because I haven't got a bill from him, but I'm sure it's going to be expensive.
Ma'am?
What?
It cost him $13,000 to take me to court for paternity.
Take you to court for what paternity?
He sued me for paternity on our son.
Oh, you thought that it might not be your child? Is that what you're telling me?
Biologically, he's not my child, no.
Was that established in the paternity test?
Because the way the law is written in California, if you raise a child over 2 years, he automatically becomes your responsibility.
Have you been supporting him?
Yes.
Well, oh my goodness, how you people screwed up your lives. I just can't believe it. And I have a sense that if I saw you back here in 10 years, you're going to be in the same spot. just frittering away your whole lives over spite and meanness and nastiness and stupidity. Instead of just putting a period and moving on and saying, listen, I have a chance to have the rest of my life free and clear, let me just do it. All this is money, and it's not major money, it's just, I've been paying it anyway, let me just get over it. Here's some money, here's my half, goodbye and good luck, let me have a happy life. Listen, how did it come about that you flooded his boat? You flooded his boat, right?
I did get water on his boat, yeah.
Good, okay. So now you're going to tell me how it came about that you flooded his boat.
Well, on August 13th, and to get back to the vacation, I vacationed out there that week because it's my birthday week every year since Steve and I separated. So he was very aware that I was going to be out there. I had no idea he was going to be.
Just tell me why you flooded his boat.
So our son went upriver on the wave rider, came back down.
मुकुट कुंडल से इनका होता रोज श्रृंगार मोर मुकुट कुंडल से इनका होता रोज श्रृंगार सबसे ठोके सेठ मेरे सांवरिया सरकार सबसे ठोके सेठ मेरे सांवरिया सरकार सांवरिया सरकार 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 मेरे सांवरिया सरकार मुझे चिंता नहीं घर बार की कृपा सेठ सरकार की मुझे चिंता नहीं घर बार की कृपा सेठ सरकार की सेठ है बड़े दयालु सुनते सबकी दरकार जी सेठ है बड़े दयालु सुनते सबकी दरकार जी सांवरिया सरकार मेरे सांवरिया सरकार सांवरिया सरकार
and said, Dad's upriver. Can I go up there and ride in the boat? Well, because there's stipulations regarding the girlfriend on visitation, I needed to make sure that it was okay through Steve.
Why? What's wrong with the girlfriend?
Well, there's been drug and alcohol problems.
Well, did you ask your son whether the girlfriend was in the boat?
He didn't see her.
So then his father was alone in the boat. So what'd you have to go up there for?
Well, I needed to make sure that things were appropriate up there.
What does that mean? His father was out on the river in a boat. He's 17 years old.
No, he's 16.
See, he's 16 years old, and he wanted to go on the boat with his father.
Can I respond to that?
No.
Okay.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Steve McMahon claims his wife, Cheryl McMahon, sank his ski boat out of revenge.
Go ahead.
So I went up along with Terry, my girlfriend. There was nobody. The boat was in the water. At that time, I took some pictures of the boat.
Why?
So that I could go back and show the court that the boat was in running operations. We were supposed to have it appraised out, but Mr. McMahon wouldn't agree to that. So we had to get a court order for that.
So you just happen to have a camera on your wave runner.
Mm-hmm.
You just happen to have a camera on your wave, just a second, on your wave runner when you went upriver with this lady. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, I always have a camera in there.
Always have a camera. Keep going.
Okay. He wasn't there. I went back down to camp. A little while later, I went for a ride, and I wasn't planning on seeing Mr. McMahon at that time, with Jessica. And we went upriver, and then on our way back, we seen that Steve was sitting in the boat.
Yes.
And I started to go closer to him.
Why?
Well, because I was going to ask him if it was okay for Stephen to be up there. And at that time, when he looked up and seen that it was me, he raised his hand up over his head with a tool or something, like he was going to throw it at it, and he's yelling at us to get that out of there.
Yes.
And so at that point, Jessica was screaming. I was concerned that he was going to hit me with something or hit Jessica. So I turned the wave runner and splashing.
What a baloney
Went back
story.
to
What
camp.
a baloney story. I never heard such a baloney story in my life, Mr. McMahon. You know, if you spend 10 years of your life angry, men fare better physically when they get when they're angry. Women get all these nasty lines and they get to look much older than their years. If you spend so much of your life being bitter, I suggest you get over it. How much did it cost to fix your boat?
$3,400.80.
How much is the boat worth?
Well, it was appraised at $8,000.
Let me see.
The appraisal or the receipt?
Both.
I don't have an appraisal. Because she had it done, I never got a copy of it.
Just a second. When did you buy this boat?
1976.
Listen to me. I'm not a stupid person. The boat's 30 years old. Show me an appraisal, sir.
I don't have a copy of the appraisal.
How large is this
She
boat?
can verify the appraisal. Her
Listen
appraiser did the work.
Just a minute. How large is this boat?
It's an 18-foot. It's a classic V drive. It goes
Classic.
up in value.
A classic.
Goes up in value.
Okay. Let me see the paid bill. How long was your boat out of commission after this flooding?
All summer. The rest of the season.
Had it been running prior thereto?
Oh, yes.
Judge Judy?
Yes.
Can I give you a receipt from, a letter from CarQuest that's stating that that invoice that he gave you is not an invoice that they can locate
Oh, yeah, I'd
or
love
that
to see
date?
I'd love to see
And
that.
that they use generated, computer-generated receipts.
Can I see that, please?
I can also show you.
Show this to the plaintiff, please.
Can I respond to that as well without looking at it? This is brought
Sure
to
can before I give him a call.
brought to my attention. Go ahead. Brought to my attention this yesterday from the harassing phone calls that she made to CarQuest corporate headquarters. Now, this is the mechanic that repaired the boat who works for CarQuest, but he uses their format for his own receipts. Here's a letter from the mechanic
Just a
that
second.
works for CarQuest.
Just a second. Let me see it.
It's a private individual that was between him and I.
Well,
Has
you're
nothing to
talking
do-
about this guy.
Yes, has nothing to do with CarQuest.
So what you're telling me now is that despite the fact that you're using CarQuest invoice, CarQuest did not do the work on this boat. Someone who worked for CarQuest did this work for you on his own time
That's correct.
and just used one of their forms in order to show how much money you spent on the boat. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling
That's the
me?
receipt he gave me, yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
That's the receipt he gave me.
And this is what you're giving me. You didn't tell me that that was the case. You gave me something with a card, which would lead me to believe, sir, that this company prepared this receipt, and that's a lie. Is that right?
I don't know. He gave me the receipt. I don't think
Just
it's a
listen
lie.
to me. You just said to me, this is somebody that didn't do it while they were working for CarQuest. This is somebody who did it on his own time. He just used one of their invoices.
Well, he used it. I didn't use it. It's a discontinued work order from CarQuest that he uses for his own personal use.
You're slippery. Did you take the boat to CarQuest?
No, I took it to his house. But he works for CarQuest. I didn't even think anything about it.
You want to know something?
Yes.
I believe that you spent some money to fix this boat. And I was prepared to rule in your favor. Because I think that she purposely and maliciously damaged your boat. That's what you did. You were angry and you purposely and maliciously damaged his boat. You flooded it. You knew you flooded it. I don't believe your baloney story about making sure that the boat was safe for your 16-year-old son when you went up there with somebody with a camera in hand on a wave runner. People usually don't do that. And you went up there to take a picture, according to you, of the boat in the water because you wanted it for the purpose of appraisal. So I don't believe you. And I believe that you purposely flooded his boat. I think that you presented me with a false document. And people who present courts with false documents don't get cut any slack, Mr. McMahon. You understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to pay for this boat yourself. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's case number 74 on the calendar in the matter of Sadler versus Russell. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Sadler, I have a question, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the case. Did that outfit come with a jacket?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I just curious.
Actually, I grew out of it.
You grew out of the jacket? Okay. I mean, the outfit looks nice. It just looked as if it wasn't quite finished. Mr. Sadler, according to your complaint, Miss Russell, who is your former wife, borrowed some money from you, and then she took some money that you had given her to hold for safekeeping.
Right.
This was after she and her children, because the two of you have 5 children together. You have children from a previous marriage or relationship, and Miss Russell has children from a previous marriage or relationship, 5 in total, none that are your joint children together.
Right.
And you were divorced, and then after a couple of months decided that it was a mistake to get divorced, so she moved back in with you, and that, again, didn't work out. But it was during this period after the divorce that is your claim that these loans took place. $900 that you claim was a loan, and $3,600 that you claim she actually stole from you.
Well, more or less.
So give me some dates, Mr. Sadler. When were you married?
2001. December of 2001, I believe. I'm sorry, 2002.
And when were you divorced?
October of 2004.
And when did Miss Russell and her children move back in with you?
In December.
And when did she move out?
End of February. February 23rd, I believe.
Okay. Do you have custody of your children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
I have 3.
Now let's talk about the loan first. The loan was made, according to you, in December of 2004.
Right.
Tell me about the loan.
Basically, she had decided she wanted to go bankrupt so she could be a stay-at-home mother. And so I had her pull $1,500 out of my home equity. And we actually spent $600 of that on bills, and the additional $900 left was supposed to go into savings where I was going to pay an attorney for her to go bankrupt when that time came. But the money never went into savings or checking. She just held on to it, and it went with her when she moved out. And she never did go bankrupt. And she ended up, from what I understand, just used the money to catch up her bills.
Miss Russell, when had you accumulated this debt that inspired you to think about bankruptcy?
Most of my debt was acquired when we were married, and then also in some of our separations. But I've always kept my credit up to par. I mean, I had like 16 revolving accounts, no lates, anything. And during the time that we had discussed me going bankrupt for the family, I didn't pay my bills, and then...
Could you look at me?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a simple question that I asked you.
Okay.
When did you accumulate the debt which inspired you to think about bankruptcy?
Over time, between 2001 through 2004.
Credit cards?
Yes, ma'am.
16 credit cards?
Well, I don't have 16 credit cards. I have 16 revolving accounts. I watch my credit like a hawk.
What do you mean 16 revolving accounts? You have lines of credit at banks?
Well, I don't owe any money to a bank per se unless it's through like Target Visa or Wachovia Visa.
So then why were you contemplating bankruptcy?
When Stephen and I were together, I did spend majority of the time as a homemaker, and then I would, go to school, and I did have odds and end jobs. Stephen works on commission, and this past year it dropped significantly.
and we had discussed from talking to neighbors and things like that that maybe I should go bankrupt and it's not so hard, and with the idea that Steve and I would be together forever, I didn't have to worry about having my name on a mortgage or having my name on another car loan, that he would take care of that, and then it would relieve some financial burden for us.
How much in debt were you?
We weren't going to go bankrupt on my car because my mom is actually a co-signer, or actually she's the primary for me on that, and we were going to substantiate.
How much in debt are you?
I don't know. I didn't add it up. I didn't go that far. I owe like maybe $8,000 on my Target Visa, $6,000 on my Wachovia Visa, $2,500 maybe to Rooms to Go, and there's Sam's Club, Home Depot. I think I owe them like $2,000.
What do you do for a living?
I am a student. I moved home with my mom and wait tables and things like that.
Your children live with you?
Yes, they do.
You get child support for your children?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
I get $125 a week.
When was the last time you held a full-time job?
I'm not really good with dates.
Are you very good with jobs, is the question, Miss Russell.
I'm sorry, what?
You have 2 children?
Yes.
You have 2 children.
Well, that's a full-time job, but I don't really necessarily
How old are your
get paid
children?
for that. I have a 13-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Your 13-year-old takes care of himself?
Himself.
Himself?
2 sons.
5-year-old's in daycare?
Actually, he's in pre-K.
Now we talk about a full-time job. That's
and
what happens
he's
when you...
actually a very difficult child, not that you want to hear it, because he has issues and he sees a psychologist and psychiatrist and otitis media and all those wonderful things.
You still have to work, Miss Russell.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, there are alternatives to stiffing a whole bunch of people who extended you
I know,
credit.
that's why I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to do it.
Okay, good. Now, let's get to the $900. So far, Mr. Sadler, I haven't heard anything about a loan. I heard that you put $900 away ostensibly for a bankruptcy lawyer.
Right.
And now I hear, Mr. Sadler, that there was discussion between you and your wife.
Right.
Although you were divorced, you were living together as a family again, about the viability of her going bankrupt to relieve the family of all of these bills so that there would sort of be a fresh start. You wouldn't have to be spending your money on that.
Well, it was
right?
more because she didn't want to work full time.
Listen to me, sir. Were there discussions between the two of you, since you are now together as a family, that this was a viable option to relieve the family of these?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So she was going to stiff the other creditors, but the one creditor that she couldn't stiff was her mother,
right,
because her mother's the co-signer on the car. You see how you get things at... Just let people talk and then it all comes together.
And later today...
I ran over there and tried to fish the fish out of the tank with a net and put them into fresh water, hoping that I could save their lives. They were kind of floundering around, but I mean, there was still some sort of life in them.
And they all died?
Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Steve Sadler says ex-wife Anna Russell owes for an unpaid loan to retain a bankruptcy attorney. Steve also claims Anna stole money from him.
Oh, so now you can tell me the story about Mr. Sadler, the $3,600 that you claim Miss Russell stole from you.
Okay, basically I got a lump sum of child support from my first wife, and with her going bankrupt, I had agreed that we would use the money, basically like an investment in our family, to pay down on her car, because she was going to keep her car, and that would lower that payment. But the money never got used, and our relationship just kind of went downhill, and basically I told her, I wanted to put the money in savings account because I wasn't sure where, our relationship was going. And I wasn't going to pay it towards her car if we were going to break up.
Is that what you said to her? At the time you gave her, according to you, the $3,600, you said, I'm not putting it in a checking account. I'm giving it to you to pay off your car. But if we break up, I want you to give me back the money.
Well, that never came out, but, she understood that because she
Don't tell me what she understood.
Well,
this is a court, Mr. Sadler.
It was like this. She had even made a statement to me that, we would discuss it if we decided she was going to use the money for something else other than what we had talked about.
You talked about just paying down the car or paying down the credit cards?
Well, first it was the credit cards, and then she decided to go bankrupt, and then it was, since she was going to still have her car, just use it towards her car.
So she was going to stiff the other creditors, but the one creditor that she couldn't stiff was her mother,
right,
because her mother's the co-signer on the car. You see how you get things at... Just let people talk and then it all comes together. Good thing that they strengthened the bankruptcy laws in this country. financial planning is not bankruptcy. People sort of think that financial planning is another term for bankruptcy. Okay. How much did you earn last year, sir?
Last year, I earned roughly $45,000.
And how much do you get in child support for your 3 children?
I get, for 3 children, I get $50 a week for 3.
What does your former wife do?
I think she works at a daycare at a gym, but she kind of goes in and out of jobs.
That's the reason you have the custody of your children.
Well, there were other reasons, but okay.
Okay. Does she see her children?
Not anymore. She's actually talking about getting for the summer because she lives in another state.
Well, if she gets them for the summer, sir, if you agree to that, you tell her that you'll give her $50 a week for the 3 children.
Actually, I'm not going to
see
give
how
her...
that flies.
I wasn't going to give her anything.
Right. Now, the $3,600 he gave you, under what circumstances?
I think Stephen felt guilty because when we would break up, he would also spend money too. And he was taking out a line of credit towards the house. And even though we were a family unit, the money was only going to go towards his bills, but not help me with mine. And I think that he felt guilty, and that he said if he ever did get the money from Misha, which is the back child support, and I did raise the children for that time, that I could have it, because he considered it like free money. I can even remember when I was even at home with him and my mom was on the phone and he was saying if he did get the money, you know, that I could have it. And I was like, Mom, you know, you need to write down this date, because we didn't really know, because we have an up and down relationship. And
I got it, Miss Russell.
Okay. But he did give me the money and I didn't steal it.
What did you do with it?
I paid it towards my bills. And just to let you know, I didn't just want to go bankrupt. It was, I mean, he was even saying, you know, you need to go bankrupt before these laws come into effect. It's going to be harder.
Well, whatever.
But I do
In any event, Mr. Sadler, I don't hear anything about a loan, sir. I don't hear anything about a loan for the $900. And I read your complaint very carefully, which I don't buy. I'm going to tell you why I don't buy it. Your complaint, which you swore to, says, she wanted to file bankruptcy and asked for my help, so I agreed to loan her $900 to retain an attorney. Well, that's not true. That's even not what you testified to today, right? So that's false. Then you say, in January, I received $3,600 in back child support from my first wife. I cashed the check. I was afraid if I put the money directly into my checking account, I would spend it. So I gave the entire sum to Anna to put aside for us.
Right.
Now listen to me. In the previous paragraph of your complaint, you say she wanted to file for bankruptcy because she had spent money that she shouldn't have. And then you went on to tell me I agreed to loan her the $900, and then she went on a spending spree and spent approximately $5,000 on her credit card because she knew she was going to file a bankruptcy, so she might as well work up the credit cards, right? Now, a month later, as irresponsible as that is, right? So you would say this is irresponsible, right?
Right.
She was going to file bankruptcy, which means she didn't have money. So she said, I'm going to go out and jack up my credit cards, probably buying things, Christmas presents and things like that, month of December, right, sir?
Well,
but according to you, she did that, and that was financially irresponsible. So the next month you get the $3,600, and since you didn't trust yourself by putting it in your checking account, you gave it to Miss Responsibility to hold for us.
Steve Sadler says ex-wife Anna Russell owes for an unpaid loan to retain a bankruptcy attorney. Steve also claims Anna stole money from him.
I don't buy it, Mr. Sadler. I don't buy the $900 loan to your former wife, and I don't buy the fact that you gave her this money to hold for us. I believe that you gave her this money to pay down her credit card debt, and she owes you absolutely nothing. Zippo, nada, goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's about getting back what I felt like should have been returned to me in the event our family fell apart.
He actually had me served with papers trying to have me arrested, saying that I stole the money.
We've broke up, God, probably 16 times in the last 4 years, and I'm not about to say it's the last time.
I'm currently reading the book, He's Just Not That Into You, and if I had to give my own words of it, I would have to say he's just not that into you if he sues you and tries to have you arrested.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lee versus Gann. Step forward, please.
20-year-old student Jonathan Lee is suing his former friend, 20-year-old student Christopher Gann, for killing his fish when he dumped soap in his freshwater aquarium. Christopher says it was an accident.
Your first name is Jonathan?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're Christopher?
Christopher.
And you used to be roommates?
Yes.
How long were you roommates?
About a year.
You go to school?
Yes, ma'am.
What year are you in?
I'm a third year, ma'am.
I too have a third year.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Computer science.
You don't want to be a veterinarian, do you?
No.
Jonathan?
Yes, ma'am.
Christopher destroyed your fish tank.
Yes, ma'am.
And based upon those relics there, it was a big fish tank.
Yes, ma'am.
And he destroyed your fish tank with soapy water.
Yes, ma'am.
Killed all the fish.
Yes, ma'am.
He says it was the fish's fault.
More or less, ma'am.
They were in the wrong place in the apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
And he tripped over them. Is that right, Christopher? I read your answer.
I kind of bumped into the tank, which
Because you say in your answer, the tank and the fish was placed in a high-traffic zone.
Yeah, I have a set of photographs with the picture of where the tank is, and it's
I'd
situated.
like to see that.
Oh.
Okay. When did this happen?
Sometime in November.
Jonathan, when did it happen?
November 18th, 2004, ma'am.
And you came home and found everything destroyed.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
right? Okay. And this is where the fish tank was?
Yes.
And it wasn't on wheels, was it?
It's on cinder blocks.
It's not one of these remote-controlled fish tanks that move around.
No.
How long have you been living in this apartment?
Almost a year.
And in the year, has the fish tank been in the same spot?
It was placed in the end of summer, and then it happened in November.
So it's been there for a couple of months.
A few months, yes.
Stationary.
Stationary.
And the only thing that's moved is you.
Is me, yes.
You get my drift where I'm
Right.
going.
Oh, and I wrote in.
So why don't you tell me, Christopher, how this happened and why you don't think that you're responsible to your former roommate for replacing his fish tank?
First off, I have a copy of our rental agreement, which states that no pets should be allowed, and that no things should be placed in hallways that obstruct movement. So what had happened was I'd filled this bowl with soap, concentrated hand soap and water, and I was walking from the kitchen to the garage because I wanted to spot clean my shoes. So as I was walking with this bowl, I saw my roommate who crossed from downstairs into this pseudo hallway because it's the main walkway from room's entrance to the kitchen. So I took the bowl away to get it away from him, and then he made a sudden move to like try to mess with me, and I kind of stepped back, and I banged my elbow into the fish tank, dropping the bowl into the tank. And that's what happened.
Do you have any witnesses who were there that day?
Actually, no one witnessed it, so no one saw it.
Well, the other roommate was there, according to him.
He didn't tell me anything beyond that they were horsing around. That's it.
Tell me what happened when you got home.
When I got home, I came in from the garage and basically saw him and another roommate removing bubbles from the tank. And I was kind of shocked. And I go, "What happened?" He said, "I spilled soap into your tank." "How'd you do it?" "I was horsing around." "Well, what are you doing?" "Well, I'm moving the bubbles." So I ran over there and tried to fish the fish out of the tank with a net and put them into fresh water, hoping that I could save their lives. They were kind of floundering around, but I mean, there was still some sort of life in them.
How many fish did you have in the tank?
I had sitlets and plecos and a gourami, ma'am. I was trying to breed them.
So you had 6 fish?
I believe I had 7, 9, 10 fish and 2 snails, ma'am.
And they all died?
Yes, ma'am.
Christopher, listen to me carefully, sir. Whose fault do you think it is that all these fish died?
I think it should be, it's mutual, like, he shouldn't have had the tank there in the first place.
The tank's been there for months, sir. When for the first time did you complain to him that the tank was there?
I didn't want to complain to him.
So you never complained to him?
No.
When for the first time did you complain to him that he was in violation of the lease because he had pets in the apartment?
After he tried to come after me for $400.
But not before?
No.
So that's a lot of baloney. What you're saying to me really is, it's my fault and I'm trying to find some reason to avoid responsibility. So far, I haven't heard it's my fault because I was horsing around with my roommate.
It is my fault.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $330. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused in the matter of Shin versus you. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Ms. Shin, it is your allegation that the defendants offered to watch your dog for you because the place where you were living didn't accept dogs.
Yes, correct.
And now they refuse to give her back.
Yes, correct. I've had this dog since
Just
the birth.
wait a second.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Just a sec, please. Please don't talk. I do talk. You do answer. When did you turn the dog over to the defendants?
April 22nd of this year.
And when, for the first time, did you ask for the dog back?
In the beginning of October. But we had an agreement.
Just a second. So they had the dog for a little over 6 months.
Yes.
This was a friend of yours?
Yes.
How long had you been living in your apartment?
I've been living there for 8 months.
Before the dog was turned over to them?
Yes.
And the dog was living with you for 8 months?
My sister...
Don't tell me your sister. The dog was living with you for that 8-month period?
Temporary.
Was living with you?
Yes.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Just a second. So why all of a sudden did you turn the dog over to the defendants?
I lived with my sister, and I moved out in December of last year. My landlord wouldn't let me keep the dog, so I had asked my sister to take care of it for me, but she was pregnant at the time, so she could not take care of the dog. So I had asked Jennifer, I have known her for over 10 years, and I had asked her if she could watch my dog until I find a new place where I could take Penny back, and she agreed.
How old is this dog?
He's now 2 years old now.
All right. So the dog lived with your sister, and then you moved into a place where you lived for 8 months. The dog did not live with you. You gave the dog to them, another 6 months. So all in total, how many months did the dog live with you?
1.5 years.
That's a lie.
That's 2 years old.
Yes. The math doesn't work out there, Miss Jim. How often in the 6 months that the dog was living with the defendants did you visit with the dog?
At least once every week, sometimes every day.
That's
at
a
least
lie.
Once every week. I went by, my sister went by to visit.
I'm not talking about your sister. I'm talking about you. How often did you go to visit with this dog during the 6-month period?
At least once a week, once every week.
To see me, not the dog.
So once a week. How far did you live from the defendants?
5 minutes away.
So you could have gone over every day.
Sometimes I went over every day. I went over there every chance I could.
They were friends, I mean...
We were friends. She came to see me, not the dog. I mean, yeah, when she came, she saw the dog, but she never ever called me once to say that she's going to come see Penny. It was because
Your
we
Honor,
had plans.
that's a lie.
No, we had plans.
Just a second.
We had plans that maybe she came over to see me.
Just a second.
And she never had possession of the dog.
Did you say? Hey.
Listen.
How much money did you give the defendants in the 6-month period to take care of the dog? Food, vet bills, grooming bills?
I did not give them any cash. When she first came over to my house...
So the answer is you gave them nothing?
I gave them all the supplies. Big bag of dog food, shampoo, conditioner, dog's bed, everything.
That was just left over from
Just
when
a
she had
second.
it.
I'm talking about in the 6 months the dog was there, not when she first took the dog, which is the supplies that you had in the house. I'm talking about if she was merely babysitting for this dog for you. It seemed to me you would have an arrangement to say, look, I don't want you to spend any money on... What kind of dog is that, a Maltese?
Maltese, yes.
I don't want you to spend money on grooming, on vet bills, on food, or anything else. You're just watching this dog for me. I want to pay you.
I have the grooming bills here, too.
If they do have it, I've told them I'm willing to pay for it.
That's not what I'm asking you. So you lived in your apartment for 8 months, and they had the dog for 6 months. Then you went and found a new place to live.
Yes.
And the new place allows dogs.
Yes.
So you want the dog back?
Yes.
What is your version of how the dog came into your possession?
Okay, basically, she never had possession of their dog, Penny. Her sister, took care of Penny. She was giving birth, and she couldn't have a dog in the house. She asked me for a favor, if I could give Penny a new home. And I told her that I'm going to ask my brother, because I live with my parents and my brother, and I know my brother loves dogs. So I never owned a dog myself, so I didn't know. So I told her that, I'll ask my brother and my family. I told her maybe a couple days or a week later that my brother was willing to take care of the dog. And there was times before they gave Penny up, they sold this dog, once before, and they got it back. I mean, who gives a dog away?
When did they sell the dog before?
A couple months before, they sold the dog, they took it back.
Then now they gave it to us, and
then
under what circumstances? Do you know the story about how they sold
they just wanted to get rid of the dog because they knew
Your
they
Honor,
couldn't house the
that's a
dog.
lie.
Just a second.
It wasn't convenient for them.
Yeah,
and they
and
think that they can give this dog a new home anytime that it's inconvenient for them.
Just a minute. Who did
And
they
that's
sell
not
the
fair.
dog to?
They put an ad out and they sold it to someone.
Did you put an ad in the paper for the dog?
Yes, I did.
When?
In November of last year. Because at that time, my sister was pregnant. I was living with my sister. I had no intentions of moving out. So my sister was pregnant. We could not take care of my dog. So I put out an ad in the newspaper, and someone wanted to buy it for $300. They had it for a day, and my sister kept crying. She could not sleep, eat. She had a hard time getting over it. So we called them back, and we told them that we want our dog back. Is there any possible way if we could buy the dog back? They said, well, we paid $300 for it, and we took Penny to the vet, grooming. Are you willing to pay all the fees that we pay for? So we paid them double, $600, to bring Penny back.
Because, just a second, because your sister couldn't sleep?
We sold Penny.
No. Because your sister couldn't sleep. That's what you said.
She couldn't sleep. She was crying. She was having a hard time getting over Penny.
Fine, but then your sister said, I can't take care of Penny anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
No, we bought Penny back, so we brought him
Penny back.
And then I moved out in December.
And then your sister said, I can't take care of Penny
That's why
anymore.
I had it temporary. I had it in my apartment without my manager knowing, and my manager found out that I had a dog, and he told me that I cannot keep my dog in my apartment. That's when I asked Jennifer.
You didn't say to me that when you sold this dog before to somebody else, you thought you made a mistake. You couldn't sleep at night. You couldn't eat. You said your sister.
Me and my sister.
No, that's not what you said.
No,
you said my sister. You said my sister.
I am the one who paid $600 out of my pocket to bring Penny back. I'm the one that drove over there to Torrance.
If it was that hard for you to get over
to bring Penny back.
Don't.
And then
what?
Without telling my manager, I snuck Penny into my apartment. I kept him for a while, and then my manager found out. He told me that I need to either move out or take Penny to somewhere else. So I brought Penny back to my sister, and then that's when Jennifer offered me.
Just a second. You brought the dog back to your sister, and your sister said, I can't manage a dog because I'm pregnant now.
Penny was only there for a week.
Did you hear what I said? Your sister said to you, I can't take her now, because otherwise you would have left the dog with your sister, right? Right? I mean, if you moved into a place where you couldn't keep the dog, and your sister, who couldn't sleep at night 2 months before, she would have said, fine, I'll keep Penny until you find another place to stay. But your sister said, I can't keep her.
She was pregnant. That's why I kept it in my apartment without my manager's approval.
So she got over being hysterical.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sharon Shin says former friend Jennifer Yu and her brother Jay Yu refused to return her Maltese named Penny. Jennifer and Jay say Sharon abandoned the dog.
My next question to you, Ms. Shin, is if you had the kind of love and affection that you seem to want me to believe that you had for this dog, why didn't you find an apartment in a month?
I tried to. I found
2 months.
The place that I
3
moved,
months. 4 months.
The place that
6 months later?
Yes, but I trusted these people. They had agreed that they would watch Penny for me until
Ms.
I
Shin,
could
that's
find
not
a
what
place.
that's not what I'm saying to you. We're not talking about a cup or a desk or a pair of glasses. We're talking about an animal that has a feeling. You want to know how I know? Just stand there for a minute and I'm going to show you. This one's mine. This one's mine. Lulu, come sit here with me. This one's mine. When I went to find a new apartment and the landlord said, you can't have a dog, I don't care if they were offering me a palace. It's not worth it. Because if a dog is part of your life, is part of your soul, you don't move into a place where you can't have a dog. And you don't give up a dog for 6 months and let it bond with another family and then say, I want it back. You don't do that.
Thank you.
You don't do that. That's outrageous.
Yes, but
go buy another dog.
That's what they told me, Your Honor.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Go buy another dog.
Your Honor, I've had this dog since the birth.
You've never had this dog.
Just a minute. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't. The dog lived with your sister. Then the dog lived with them.
I lived with my sister for a year after they gave birth.
You lived with your sister. Then your sister had the dog. Then you moved into an apartment for 8 months. Then they have the dog for 6 months.
7 months.
7 months. Now you want the dog back? You're not bonded with this dog. Because if you were bonded, you would not have moved to an apartment where you couldn't have dogs. That's the first question you ask. You say, I have a pet. So if you move into a place that says no pets, you say no pets, no me. And you go someplace else. But you don't let your dog bond with another family and then say, I want it back. This is not an animal that you've had for 10 years. You had this animal, all told, maybe for a year. But not the last year. The last year, they've given this dog a home and affection and attention. So if you want another Maltese, go buy one.
Your Honor, this dog belongs to me.
Not anymore. Your case is dismissed.
Your Honor,
goodbye.
please. I have the evidence here.
You may step out.
This isn't fair. They agreed that they'll watch the dog for me until I find a place. It's a temporary agreement, and now they're saying they're denying the whole fact that they. I trusted these people.
She's just inconsiderate and she's very selfish, obviously, because she just thinks that this is Penny's an object, and it's not. She can't give it away anytime she feels like it's inconvenient to her and take it back whenever.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of DeRosa versus Lane. Step forward, please.
22-year-old hairstylist Angela DeRosa is suing former friend, 24-year-old customer service rep Michael Lane, for the cost of rims for his Mustang and a new Movado watch. Michael says they were both gifts.
Mr. Rosa, you claimed 2 loans to the defendant.
Yes, I did.
Why would you make him loans to begin with? You had a relationship with him?
We were friends. He got into a car accident. He needed help. He wanted rims for his car, so I helped him out.
All right, he got into a car accident, and you were just friends.
Yep. When he got into his car accident, I was the person he called to come get him.
Look at me. He got into an accident with his car.
Mm-hmm.
You came and rescued him.
I came, picked him up at the hospital.
And now tell me about the rims.
He wanted particular rims for his car.
How much after the accident?
It was right after the accident. The ones they were going to give him were the same ones he had before, but he wanted something bigger for his car, so he wanted 17-inch ones. So I made a phone call to my uncle. He got me the name of a place where I could get them at a good deal.
Did you tell him that you were doing that?
Yes, I did.
What did you say to him?
I said, I found them.
Look at me.
I said, I found them for $7.94.
And what did he say?
Yeah, let's do it.
And what did you say?
I said, all right, you need to write a check out, whatever, and then we need to figure this out. How many days can I get them to you? He wanted them right away, so we had to pay for extra shipping and handling. So I did it, and he was supposed to give me half the money when they came, but he never did because he didn't cash his check.
Well, you didn't say anything about him giving you money. You just said that you got him the rims. When was he supposed to give you money?
That was the deal we made. I would help him out with them when he asked me.
Helping him out by loaning him the money?
Yes. It wasn't a gift, it was a loan.
That's what you say. He says it was a gift. Mr. Rosa, why didn't he pay for the rims himself?
He didn't have the money.
Why didn't he have the money?
I don't know. He said he didn't have the money.
So then why did you do it?
Because I was being nice.
And that was very foolish. He wants 17-inch rims instead of 14-inch rims. He's got to compensate for something. So you say, listen, you don't got the money. Go with the 14 inches. When were the rims? In what month?
I want to say August.
What else do you claim you loaned him money for?
The watch. Actually, he has the watch on right now on his wrist.
Yeah, so when did you
loan him? He
loan
went with me to go pick it up.
When?
We went to go pick it out, I think, in October or September. And we went to go write a checkout, but...
Just a second. When did you actually transfer money for the watch?
October.
So 2 or 3 months after the rims hadn't been paid for.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now he wants a new watch. Now tell me how it came about that you turned over any money to him for this new watch.
Because he had given me some money for it.
How much did he give you?
He gave me $150.
When?
That day we went to go get it.
Well, how did it come about that he came to get this new watch in the first place?
He saw it, he said he wanted it. He was going to write out a check, he couldn't write out a check. I figured I could write one out. They didn't take mine, so I said I'd go back and I would withdraw the money. And as we were leaving, he said that he needed the money back, and he'd give me the money when I gave him the watch. So I went back the next day and picked it up.
And paid for it?
Yep. And he was supposed to meet up with me to give me half the money. When I met up with him, he didn't pay me.
What about the watch?
The watch was a gift. Actually, my birthday's in June, and we went in July. So it's a correction of the date there. And she said, this is, I didn't get you anything for your birthday, so I'm going to grab you this watch because I know you want it. The watch itself was something that I could have done without. I didn't need it. At the time, I had my another watch.
What'd you need the rims for?
My car insurance was going to pay for the rims. The rims that I wanted. It wasn't a necessity. I mean, it's something, I wanted, but it's something that she offered. And I said, honestly, at the time, we were friends, and it wasn't an intimate relationship, but it was to the fact that she cared about me, and I appreciate it. But it's something that, if I know I'm not going to be able to pay somebody back, I'm not going to go ahead and offer, say, listen, I'm going to pay you back later on down the road. I know that the circumstances at the time, I couldn't pay you back. So I most certainly wasn't going to take anything. So,
Mr. Lane.
Yes.
You lied right there.
Just a second. Mr. Rosa, because you acted foolishly doesn't mean you get paid.
I didn't act foolishly.
Yes. Oh, yes, you did.
Actually,
yes, you did.
He just said that I got it to him as a gift. Actually, the gift that was given to him for his birthday is a tattoo that's tattooed on his arm that was paid for. That's what was given to him.
Mr. Rosa, if you don't think you acted foolishly, I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. Let's say I believe your scenario that This man, who had no way to make any money of consequence, wanted 17-inch rims for his car at a cost of $800 when the insurance company was going to give him 14-inch rims. And if you liked him and if he was your friend, you say, that's nice. You want to buy him? Buy him. But you knew he didn't have any money.
That's not true, because I used to help him out by cashing his checks for him because he didn't have his bank account check yet, so I would cash him for him and give him the cash from his check.
I have direct deposit.
He said he had to pay back his cousin.
So he said he had to pay back his cousin, so he wasn't giving you any money. You did a very foolish thing. And after you did the first foolish thing by buying him these rims, let me tell you what you wrote here in your complaint, which I found very interesting. You said, defendant decided he wanted new rims for his tire. He was very persistent on getting them. So I special ordered them for him and had them delivered to him right away.
Yes. He was at my house the day he called me and said, did you get them yet? Did the rims come yet? He used to sit at my house. Did they get there yet? I have to go to work. Where are the rims? Why aren't they there? I have to have them dropped off.
He used you. He's not a nice person. Let me tell you something. From what he just told me, he's not a nice person. He has a bad character because he said to me, I knew I couldn't pay it back. I didn't want her to buy me any present. I didn't want anything from her. She knew I couldn't pay it back, but he took them. He took the rims, and he took the watch, and he's wearing the rims. He's wearing the watch. I'd like him to wear the rims. He's wearing the watch, and he's driving around on the rims. So he is a person of poor character. Because if what he's intimated in his answer is true, he said you liked him more than he liked you, and therefore he took advantage of you, which makes him a bum. Yeah. Okay?
My father was the kind of man who didn't just live in a neighborhood. He built one, not with blueprints or bricks, but with kindness, laughter, and the kind of quiet generosity that made everyone feel seen. He was a volunteer firefighter for 25 years, the first to show up when there was smoke, the last to leave when the work was done. When a new family moved in, he'd show up with tools to fix their fence or carry in boxes. He never needed to be asked. He just knew when someone needed help. That was who he was. A steady hand, a comforting voice, a neighbor everyone trusted. So when he passed away after a long battle with heart disease, the whole street went silent. It was as if the heartbeat of our small community had stopped with him. In the weeks after his funeral, we searched for a way to honor him, something simple but lasting. My mother found a photo of him sitting under the big oak tree in our yard, smiling like he always did after mowing the lawn. That oak tree had been planted the same year we moved in. He had dug the hole himself, wiped the sweat from his brow, and said, "This'll give shade to your kids someday." And it did. That tree grew tall and strong, just like him. So we decided that would be the perfect spot, his favorite place, where he'd read the newspaper every Sunday morning with a cup of coffee. I had a small plaque made, nothing fancy, just a bronze plate with engraved words that said everything we felt but couldn't speak out loud. In memory of James Holloway, who built more than homes, he built hearts. When we placed it at the base of the oak, it felt right. The sunlight hit it just so, and the reflection seemed almost alive. My mother cried softly, touching the words as if she could feel his warmth through the metal. It became a small ritual. We'd bring flowers every few days, sit beneath the tree, and talk about him. Neighbors would stop by, too. Some brought their kids, telling them, "That's Mr. Holloway. He's the reason we have those benches at the park." The plaque became more than just a piece of metal. It became a symbol, a reminder of what community truly meant. It wasn't long before people started adding their own tributes. Someone left a photo of Dad helping repair a mailbox. A little boy from next door placed a toy fire truck beside the tree, whispering, "For the hero." Every act felt like a small thank you, an acknowledgement that one man's kindness could ripple through an entire neighborhood. My father would have never asked for any of it, but I know he would have smiled seeing how people remembered him. We didn't do it for recognition or to make a statement. We did it because love like his deserves to be remembered. That oak tree had stood through storms and seasons, and so had he. Placing his memorial there wasn't about decoration, it was about legacy. It was about keeping a promise that we'd never forget the man who gave so much of himself to others. In the evenings, when the light turns golden and the air grows still, that plaque glows softly against the bark. Sometimes I catch my mother sitting there, her hand resting gently on the ground, whispering to him like he's still beside her. The sound of wind through the leaves feels like his laugh echoing back. That's what the plaque means to us, a bridge between memory and the present, a way to keep his story alive long after the world has moved on. That's how it all began, not with conflict or rules, but with love, with remembrance, with a family trying to hold on to the man who made everything around him better. We never imagined that something so pure would one day be challenged, that honoring a good man could somehow break a rule. But before that storm came, there was peace, and beneath that oak tree there still is. It was only a few weeks after we placed the plaque that the first letter arrived. A plain white envelope with the HOA logo printed neatly in the corner. At first, I thought it might be another neighborhood announcement, something about lawn maintenance or the upcoming block party. But when I opened it, the words inside hit like a punch to the chest. Notice of violation, unauthorized decorative. Installation. The letter went on to say that the memorial plaque we had placed beneath the oak tree was in violation of the HOA's aesthetic uniformity policy. It ordered us to remove it within 14 days or face escalating fines. My mother's hands shook as she read it aloud. "They can't mean that plaque," she whispered, as if saying it softly might make it less real. But they did. To them, the small piece of bronze that carried my father's name, a man who had spent his life helping the people around him, was an unauthorized object. The same tree where my dad once fixed kids' bikes and handed out popsicles in the summer was now, apparently, a threat to neighborhood visual consistency. I called the HOA office that afternoon. The president, a man named Carl Benson, answered in his usual clipped tone. I explained that it wasn't a decoration, it was a memorial, a tribute to my father's decades of service to the community. But he barely let me finish. "The rule applies to all residents," he said. "No plaques, no signs, no exceptions. That's how we keep things fair." I could hear the sound of him flipping through papers as he talked, as if I were just another item on his checklist. "It's not about disrespect," he added mechanically. "It's about maintaining neighborhood standards." I wanted to ask him what standards meant. Was it neat lawns and matching mailboxes? Perfectly painted doors? Did those things really matter more than honoring the people who made the community what it was? But he'd already moved on, ending the call with a curt, "You have until the 14th to comply." That night I walked outside and stood by the tree. The air was cool, the plaque glinting faintly in the moonlight. It was small, barely the size of a notebook, and rested quietly in the soil, surrounded by flowers and the old oak's roots. Nothing about it was flashy or out of place. It didn't hurt anyone. It didn't disrupt the look of the street. It was just love cast in metal. And yet, somehow, that was against the rules. Over the next few days, we received follow-up notices. The HOA's language became sterner, the fines more threatening. Non-compliance will result in daily penalties of $200. They even sent someone to take photographs of the tree, documenting our violation. Watching that man stand in our yard, snapping pictures of my father's memorial as if it were a crime scene, made my blood boil. My mother stayed inside, unable to look. When word spread through the neighborhood, people started coming by to see for themselves. "This," one neighbor said, pointing at the plaque, "this is what they're upset about?" Others shook their heads in disbelief. "It's beautiful," someone else said. "Your dad would have loved this." But the HOA didn't care about opinions or feelings, only about control. It became painfully clear that they saw the plaque not as a tribute, but as defiance, a challenge to their authority. And the more support we received from neighbors, the more determined they seemed to make an example out of us. Every evening I'd come home from work and find another letter taped to our door. The same threatening tone, the same demand. Remove it. It felt like they were erasing my father all over again, like his memory didn't fit their version of perfection. I remember standing by the tree one night, tracing the engraved letters of his name and thinking, how did it come to this? How did honoring a man who'd spent his life helping others turn into a legal battle over aesthetics? But deep down, I knew this wasn't about a plaque. It was about what it represented: compassion, humanity, and the power of memory in a world obsessed with appearances. And if the HOA wanted to fight that, then they weren't just fighting me. They were fighting the spirit of the man they were trying to erase. When the judge finally spoke, it was as if the entire courtroom stopped breathing. His words cut through the tension like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. "The court sees no violation," he said firmly. "This plaque represents love, respect, and community spirit. It harms no one, and it honors someone who clearly gave his life to helping others. It will remain where it is." For a second, I didn't even process what I'd just heard. It was as if time froze, and then, all at once, relief came crashing over me. My mother covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. Mr. Donovan, our lawyer, gave a small nod, whispering, "That's justice, son. That's what your father would have wanted." Across the room, the HOA members sat in stunned silence. Carl Benson, the president, looked down at the table, his jaw tight, his face drained of color. I could tell he hadn't expected to lose. For months he had spoken as if he were untouchable, as if his interpretation of rules was law itself. But now he sat there, defeated. Not by us, but by something stronger: reason, compassion, and truth. The judge didn't stop there. He turned toward the HOA's side and spoke in a tone that was calm but cutting. "This case highlights something deeply troubling," he said. "Rules exist to serve communities, not to control them. When enforcement becomes cruelty, it loses its purpose. This plaque does not deface, obstruct, or endanger. It uplifts. And no amount of bureaucracy should ever silence love." Those words would stay with me forever. They weren't just a verdict. They were a lesson. A reminder that even in a world filled with policies and paperwork, humanity still mattered. After the gavel came down, the courtroom erupted in quiet applause. The judge didn't stop it. He just smiled faintly and gathered his papers. My mother stood slowly, wiping her tears, and whispered, "He would have been so proud." I hugged her tightly, feeling her shoulders shake with relief. For months, we'd lived under constant pressure. Letters, threats, legal warnings. And now, with one sentence, it was all over. Outside the courthouse, the air was cool and crisp. To our surprise, dozens of neighbors had gathered there, holding small signs that said things like, "Let it stay," and "Honor, not rules." When they saw us step out, a cheer rose from the crowd. Mrs. Langley was in front, clutching a small bouquet of wildflowers. She handed them to my mother and said, "For him and for you. You did it." My mother hugged her, crying openly now, and the people around us clapped and smiled. One of the local reporters who had covered the story approached us for a comment. I hesitated, then said, "This wasn't just about a plaque. It was about compassion. My father believed in helping people, in doing what's right, not what's easy." Today, that belief won. The reporter nodded, smiling, and turned to the camera. Behind us, the courthouse doors gleamed in the sunlight, as if the world itself had shifted just a little toward kindness. Later that evening, when we returned home, the oak tree looked more beautiful than ever. The late afternoon sun hit the bronze plaque, and it shone like a beacon. Neighbors had left fresh flowers and little ribbons around its base. Someone even placed a handwritten note that read, "Justice served. His memory lives on." My mother knelt by the tree, tracing the letters of my father's name with her fingers. "He's smiling, you know," she whispered softly. "Wherever he is, he's smiling." I stood beside her, feeling that same sense of peace. For months, we'd fought against people who saw compassion as weakness. But in the end, it was compassion that triumphed. The judge hadn't just ruled in our favor. He'd restored something deeper. The idea that community means caring, not control. That night, I sat on the porch, watching the light fade over the oak tree. The wind rustled through the leaves, and for a brief moment I could almost hear my father's laughter in the breeze. It wasn't loud or haunting, just soft and proud. The plaque would stay where it belonged, not because we won a fight, but because love had finally been recognized as something worth protecting. And in that victory, I realized the truth my father had always lived by. Rules may govern houses, but only heart can build a home. In the weeks following the judge's ruling, peace slowly returned to our neighborhood. The plaque remained at the base of the oak tree, untouched and gleaming softly beneath the morning sun. For the first time in months, my mother slept through the night without worrying about another notice taped to our door or an email filled with threats of fines. The HOA went quiet. No more confrontations, no more letters, no more cold stares when we walked by. It was as if the verdict had finally silenced the noise that had consumed our lives. Neighbors began to stop by more often. Some brought flowers, others simply came to talk. People who had stayed silent before now admitted they had disagreed with the HOA all along but were too afraid to speak out. "You stood up when no one else could," one woman told me. "You reminded us that rules aren't meant to erase what matters most." Hearing that filled me with a quiet pride. It wasn't just about winning a case anymore. It was about restoring something we had all forgotten. Empathy. A few days later, I found myself standing before the tree alone. The afternoon sun filtered through the branches, and the bronze plaque caught the light just right, casting a golden hue across the grass. The words engraved on it, "In loving memory of Robert Hale, father, neighbor, hero," seemed to glow. I crouched down and brushed away a few fallen leaves. "We did it, Dad," I whispered. "They tried to take you away, but we made sure you stayed." The breeze rustled the leaves above me, as if the tree itself was answering. My mother joined me soon after, carrying a small wooden box. "He would have wanted you to have this," she said softly. Inside was my father's old wristwatch, scratched, worn, and still ticking faintly. "He wore it every day," she continued, "even when he was out fixing fences, helping neighbors, or coaching the kids at the park. He always said, 'Time is the one thing we never get back, so use it to make things better.'" I slipped the watch onto my wrist and smiled. Somehow it felt like he was right there beside me. Word of the court's decision spread quickly across the town. The story was shared on social media, picked up by local news, and soon reached neighboring communities. People began leaving messages online, stories about loved ones they'd lost, tributes they'd built, and the struggles they faced with their own neighborhood boards. It became something bigger than just our small dispute. It became a reminder that behind every violation notice or rule, there are real people with real hearts. A week later, our mayor stopped by unannounced. He asked to see the plaque and stood there for a long moment, reading the words quietly. "Your father's story has moved a lot of people," he said. "We're planning to dedicate a section of the park in his name, a place where families can honor their loved ones freely." My mother gasped, tears filling her eyes. "He would have loved that," she whispered. "He always said this town was one big family." The dedication ceremony was held under the same oak tree a month later. The crowd was larger than I expected. Families, veterans, neighbors, even the judge himself. As people shared stories about my father, laughter mixed with tears. The plaque shone brighter than ever, surrounded by flowers, ribbons, and handwritten notes. When it was my turn to speak, I took a deep breath and said, "My father believed in kindness over control. He believed in people more than rules. This plaque isn't just for him. It's for every person who's ever felt silenced but chose to stand for what's right." The applause that followed wasn't loud. It was warm, heartfelt, and real. My mother held my hand tightly, her eyes glistening with pride. As the ceremony ended and the crowd slowly dispersed, the evening light cast long shadows across the grass. The oak tree stood tall, its branches swaying gently in the wind, almost like it was waving. Later that night, as I looked out the window, the plaque glimmered faintly under the moonlight. The fight had been long, painful, and exhausting, but it was worth every second. The HOA might have tried to erase my father's memory, but instead they helped make it immortal. His name, his kindness, his spirit, they had become part of something lasting. I realized then that victory isn't always about winning a case. Sometimes it's about proving that love can outlive opposition. My father's plaque wasn't just a memorial anymore. It was a symbol of courage, unity, and compassion. And as the night wind whispered through the leaves, I could almost hear his voice again, calm and steady. You did good, kid. You kept my promise alive. News of the HOA's actions spread faster than I ever expected. It started with one neighbor, Mrs. Langley, who lived across the street. She had known my father since the day we moved in, nearly 30 years ago. When she heard that the HOA was threatening to remove his memorial plaque, she showed up at our doorstep, carrying a plate of cookies and tears in her eyes. "They can't do this," she said, shaking her head. "Your father helped my husband build that back fence when we couldn't afford to hire anyone. He never asked for a thing in return." She stood by the tree that afternoon, tracing the edge of the plaque with her wrinkled fingers. "We'll make sure they don't touch this," she promised. It was like a spark catching fire. Within days, more neighbors started coming by, some quietly placing flowers near the oak tree, others leaving small notes of gratitude. One note read, "For the man who fixed our roof after the storm." Another said, "We'll never forget the way he helped our son when he broke his arm." Each story painted a picture of who my father really was, not a violation, but the very heart of our community. Then came the petition. It was Mrs. Langley's idea. She started knocking on doors, collecting signatures from anyone who believed the plaque should stay. In just a few days, she had over 50 names. By the end of the week, there were more than 100. People who had never spoken much to one another were suddenly united by one simple truth. The HOA had gone too far. Neighbors began putting small ribbons around their trees in quiet protest. Blue ribbons, the color of my father's old firefighter uniform. Soon, nearly every house on the street had one. Some even placed handmade signs in their yards that read, "Honor, not rules." Walking down the street became emotional. A wave of color and compassion that reminded me that kindness still mattered. Even when bureaucracy forgot, social media played its part too. One of the younger families down the block, the Petersons, posted photos of the memorial tree and shared our story online. "Our HOA wants to remove this plaque," the caption read, "but this man was the reason our neighborhood feels like home." The post spread quickly, gathering hundreds of comments from people across town. Some shared similar experiences, while others offered legal advice or words of support. It was overwhelming in the best way. The local news picked up the story next. A small TV crew came to our house one morning, asking to interview us. My mother was nervous but agreed. Standing under the oak tree, she said softly to the reporter, "This isn't about defying rules. It's about love. My husband gave everything to this place, and this plaque is how we keep his spirit alive." Her voice trembled, but her words were strong. When the story aired that night, messages of support began flooding in, people offering to help, lawyers volunteering their time, and even strangers stopping by to pay their respects. The HOA, however, didn't take it well. They called the display of support unauthorized gatherings and threatened to fine others for public disturbances. But that only made things worse for them. The more they tried to suppress it, the louder the neighborhood's voice became. One Saturday, dozens of people gathered around our yard, forming a small vigil under the oak tree. Some brought candles, others shared stories about my father. A man I barely knew, one of the newer residents, stood up and said, "I never met Mr. Holloway, but I wish I had. Because if a man can inspire this kind of love years after he's gone, that's someone worth remembering." It was one of the most moving moments of my life. My mother cried silently beside me, her hand clutching mine. For a moment, it didn't matter what the HOA said or how many fines they threatened. The neighborhood had spoken. What began as one family's memorial had become a symbol of unity. My father's plaque wasn't just ours anymore. It belonged to everyone who believed compassion was more powerful than control. The oak tree had become a gathering place, a quiet protest and a beacon of hope. And while the HOA saw defiance, what truly stood before them was something they couldn't regulate: community, love, and the enduring legacy of a good man. Months passed, and what started as neighborhood tension had grown into a full-blown standoff. The HOA kept sending letters, each one more threatening than the last, and we kept refusing to take the plaque down. My mother was exhausted. Every time she saw an envelope with that HOA logo, she'd sigh and mutter, "Your father would never believe this." I tried to stay strong for her, but deep down, I was angry. Angry that honoring my dad's memory had turned into a war against the very people he'd once helped. Eventually, we received a formal notice that the HOA had filed a case against us. They claimed our continued refusal to comply with community regulations was grounds for legal enforcement and reimbursement of all fines. When I read those words, I felt a mix of disbelief and determination. They were actually taking us to court over a memorial plaque the size of a notebook. It didn't make sense, but it was happening. I called our lawyer, a kind older man named Mr. Donovan, who had seen plenty of HOA disputes in his career. When I explained everything, he just sighed and said, "I've dealt with power-hungry boards before, but this is cruel." He agreed to take our case pro bono, saying, "Your father sounds like someone worth fighting for." Preparing for court wasn't easy. The HOA's lawyers sent piles of documents, photographs of the tree, copies of regulations, detailed notes about every warning they had issued. It was overwhelming, but I wasn't going to back down. I gathered every piece of evidence that showed who my father truly was. I printed photos of him building the neighborhood park benches, clearing snow, and fixing fences. I collected letters from neighbors, more than 100 of them, each one sharing a story about how my father had helped them in some way. The court date was set for a chilly Monday morning. The night before, I barely slept. I went outside and stood under the oak tree, running my fingers over the plaque. The air was still, and for a moment I imagined my father standing beside me. I could almost hear his voice, calm and steady, telling me not to be afraid. "You're doing the right thing," I whispered to the tree. "This isn't just for you, Dad. It's for every good person who's ever been pushed around by rules that forgot what they were made for." The courthouse felt colder than the air outside. My mother sat beside me, clutching my hand. On the other side of the room, the HOA representatives sat in suits, their faces blank and distant. When the judge entered, everyone stood. The HOA's attorney began by listing all the infractions: unauthorized installation, refusal to comply, disregard for association authority. They spoke about policies and regulations as if compassion were a nuisance. I tried to stay calm, but every word they said made my chest tighten. Then it was my turn. I stood, walked to the front, and spoke as clearly as I could. "This plaque," I began, "isn't a violation. It's a memorial to a man who spent 30 years making this neighborhood a better place. He fixed things when no one else would, helped people when they had no one else to call, and never asked for recognition. We didn't build a statue or a monument. We placed a small plaque under the tree he planted, a tree that's shaded children and families for decades. How can honoring that be wrong?" The courtroom went silent. The judge leaned forward, his expression unreadable. "Do you have proof of your father's service to the community?" he asked. I nodded and handed over the stack of letters, photos, and testimonials. As he skimmed through them, something softened in his eyes. When it was over, he looked directly at the HOA's attorney. "I've reviewed your regulations," he said slowly. "And while I understand the need for community standards, there is also a need for humanity. What I see here is not a violation, it's a tribute. And this court will not be used to strip away someone's memory for the sake of uniformity." In that moment, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The HOA's lawyer tried to object, but the judge raised a hand. "Case dismissed," he said firmly. "The plaque stays." My mother burst into tears, and I couldn't help but smile through my own. The fight had been long and exhausting, but finally justice had chosen heart over rules. As we walked out of the courthouse, the cool air felt lighter than it had in months. Neighbors were waiting outside. When the judge finally spoke, it was as if the entire courtroom stopped breathing. His words cut through the tension like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. "The court sees no violation," he said firmly. "This plaque represents love, respect, and community spirit. It harms no one, and it honors someone who clearly gave his life to helping others. It will remain where it is." For a second, I didn't even process what I'd just heard. It was as if time froze, and then, all at once, relief came crashing over me. My mother covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. Mr. Donovan, our lawyer, gave a small nod, whispering, "That's justice, son. That's what your father would have wanted." Across the room, the HOA members sat in stunned silence. Carl Benson, the president, looked down at the table, his jaw tight, his face drained of color. I could tell he hadn't expected to lose. For months he had spoken as if he were untouchable, as if his interpretation of rules was law itself. But now he sat there, defeated. Not by us, but by something stronger. Reason, compassion, and truth. The judge didn't stop there. He turned toward the HOA's side and spoke in a tone that was calm, but cutting. "This case highlights something deeply troubling," he said. "Rules exist to serve communities, not to control them. When enforcement becomes cruelty, it loses its purpose. This plaque does not deface, obstruct, or endanger. It uplifts. And no amount of bureaucracy should ever silence love." Those words would stay with me forever. They weren't just a verdict. They were a lesson. A reminder that even in a world filled with policies and paperwork, humanity still mattered. After the gavel came down, the courtroom erupted in quiet applause. The judge didn't stop it. He just smiled faintly and gathered his papers. My mother stood slowly, wiping her tears, and whispered, "He would have been so proud." I hugged her tightly, feeling her shoulders shake with relief. For months, we'd lived under constant pressure. Letters, threats, legal warnings. And now, with one sentence, it was all over. Outside the courthouse, the air was cool and crisp. To our surprise, dozens of neighbors had gathered there, holding small signs that said things like, "Let it stay," and "Honor, not rules." When they saw us step out, a cheer rose from the crowd. Mrs. Langley was in front, clutching a small bouquet of wildflowers. She handed them to my mother and said, "For him and for you. You did it." My mother hugged her, crying openly now, and the people around us clapped and smiled. One of the local reporters who had covered the story approached us for a comment. I hesitated, then said, "This wasn't just about a plaque. It was about compassion. My father believed in helping people, in doing what's right, not what's easy." Today, that belief won. The reporter nodded, smiling, and turned to the camera. Behind us, the courthouse doors gleamed in the sunlight, as if the world itself had shifted just a little toward kindness. Later that evening, when we returned home, the oak tree looked more beautiful than ever. The late afternoon sun hit the bronze plaque, and it shone like a beacon. Neighbors had left fresh flowers and little ribbons around its base. Someone even placed a handwritten note that read, "Justice served. His memory lives on." My mother knelt by the tree, tracing the letters of my father's name with her fingers. "He's smiling, you know," she whispered softly. "Wherever he is, he's smiling." I stood beside her, feeling that same sense of peace. For months, we'd fought against people who saw compassion as weakness. But in the end, it was compassion that triumphed. The judge hadn't just ruled in our favor. He'd restored something deeper. The idea that community means caring, not control. That night, I sat on the porch, watching the light fade over the oak tree. The wind rustled through the leaves, and for a brief moment I could almost hear my father's laughter in the breeze. It wasn't loud or haunting, just soft and proud. The plaque would stay where it belonged, not because we won a fight, but because love had finally been recognized as something worth protecting. And in that victory, I realized the truth my father had always lived by. Rules may govern houses, but only heart can build a home. In the weeks following the judge's ruling, peace slowly returned to our neighborhood. The plaque remained at the base of the oak tree, untouched and gleaming softly beneath the morning sun. For the first time in months, my mother slept through the night without worrying about another notice taped to our door or an email filled with threats of fines. The HOA went quiet. No more confrontations, no more letters, no more cold stares when we walked by. It was as if the verdict had finally silenced the noise that had consumed our lives. Neighbors began to stop by more often. Some brought flowers, others simply came to talk. People who had stayed silent before now admitted they had disagreed with the HOA all along but were too afraid to speak out. "You stood up when no one else could," one woman told me. "You reminded us that rules aren't meant to erase what matters most." Hearing that filled me with a quiet pride. It wasn't just about winning a case anymore. It was about restoring something we had all forgotten. Empathy. A few days later, I found myself standing before the tree alone. The afternoon sun filtered through the branches, and the bronze plaque caught the light just right, casting a golden hue across the grass. The words engraved on it, "In loving memory of Robert Hale, father, neighbor, hero," seemed to glow. I crouched down and brushed away a few fallen leaves. "We did it, Dad," I whispered. "They tried to take you away, but we made sure you stayed." The breeze rustled the leaves above me, as if the tree itself was answering. My mother joined me soon after, carrying a small wooden box. "He would have wanted you to have this," she said softly. Inside was my father's old wristwatch, scratched, worn, and still ticking faintly. "He wore it every day," she continued, "even when he was out fixing fences, helping neighbors, or coaching the kids at the park. He always said, 'Time is the one thing we never get back, so use it to make things better.'" I slipped the watch onto my wrist and smiled. Somehow it felt like he was right there beside me. Word of the court's decision spread quickly across the town. The story was shared on social media, picked up by local news, and soon reached neighboring communities. People began leaving messages online, stories about loved ones they'd lost, tributes they'd built, and the struggles they faced with their own neighborhood boards. It became something bigger than just our small dispute. It became a reminder that behind every violation notice or rule, there are real people with real hearts. A week later, our mayor stopped by unannounced. He asked to see the plaque and stood there for a long moment, reading the words quietly. "Your father's story has moved a lot of people," he said. "We're planning to dedicate a section of the park in his name, a place where families can honor their loved ones freely." My mother gasped, tears filling her eyes. "He would have loved that," she whispered. "He always said this town was one big family." The dedication ceremony was held under the same oak tree a month later. The crowd was larger than I expected. Families, veterans, neighbors, even the judge himself. As people shared stories about my father, laughter mixed with tears. The plaque shone brighter than ever, surrounded by flowers, ribbons, and handwritten notes. When it was my turn to speak, I took a deep breath and said, "My father believed in kindness over control. He believed in people more than rules. This plaque isn't just for him. It's for every person who's ever felt silenced but chose to stand for what's right." The applause that followed wasn't loud. It was warm, heartfelt, and real. My mother held my hand tightly, her eyes glistening with pride. As the ceremony ended and the crowd slowly dispersed, the evening light cast long shadows across the grass. The oak tree stood tall, its branches swaying gently in the wind, almost like it was waving. Later that night, as I looked out the window, the plaque glimmered faintly under the moonlight. The fight had been long, painful, and exhausting, but it was worth every second. The HOA might have tried to erase my father's memory, but instead, they helped make it immortal. His name, his kindness, his spirit, they had become part of something lasting. I realized then that victory isn't always about winning a case. Sometimes it's about proving that love can outlive opposition. My father's plaque wasn't just a memorial anymore. It was a symbol of courage, unity, and compassion. And as the night wind whispered through the leaves, I could almost hear his voice again, calm and steady. "You did good, kid. You kept my promise alive."